Discover a nest egg of profits that will leave you bug-eyed. With ticks, a skin-crawling heart attack of terror.
So while I was digging around trying to find information on ticks, I came across a featurette video that was originally a promotional VHS tape that they would send to rental stores. And it was telling the proprietors ideas on how they could promote the release of 1993's Ticks.
I still have one of these in my garage.
Do you?
Yes, I have a promotional blockbuster video like buy our movies. This is what's coming out hot from New Line Cinema.
Nice.
But not Ticks.
I don't think it Ticks is on
Bummer.
So in the video, it says, here's some marketing tips you can use to keep your store infested with horror fans. Really getting that tick energy.
Yeah.
You know? Arrange to have the Bloodmobile.
Big tick energy. That's the t-shirt right there.
If that hasn't been made, then we need to copyright that right now.
Love it.
It's got Clint Howard all fucked up on it.
Yes. That's a perfect shirt, actually.
Yes.
Arrange to have the Bloodmobile from your local Red Cross visit your store and offer a coupon good for one free rental of Ticks to any of your customers donating a pint of blood that day. Now, honestly, that could be done with any horror movie, like blood, you know? So I get it. They drink blood, but that's like, all right, they're really going out of their way to try to figure out how to get people to watch Ticks.
I feel like I'd almost be disappointed if I gave blood and they're like, here, go watch Ticks. I'd be like, really?
I want my blood back.
Yeah.
Yeah, give it back. Make sure to contact your neighborhood newspaper or local news channel. The publicity you'll generate might just attract their attention and gain valuable exposure. Hey, KZTV, I'd like you to come down. We got Ticks in the new rental slots.
Yeah, what?
And we're gonna have blood donations. I can't think of a worse idea for a newspaper. It's got to be a really slow news day.
I say, is that how slow news was in the 90s, where blood donations are getting clear the page, front page news.
Right. Ticks release. How about this one? This one's even worse. Fill a jar with Tic Tac mints and let your customers guess how many ticks it takes. Offer free rental coupons.
How many ticks does it take to tack?
It's literally it. Guess how many Tic Tacs are in this bucket, and you can have a copy of Ticks.
Are Tic Tacs still a thing? I feel like I remember they were very big in the 90s.
They're still a thing.
I rarely see them now.
People really like those orange ones.
Yeah.
I don't know why. They're okay.
They're gone now, though. Well, I guess they're still a thing, but no one's offered me a Tic Tac in a long time, is what I'm going to say.
You don't go outside anymore.
That's true.
You don't see people in person, so you're just missing all the Tic Tac trades going on.
That's a fair point. People, I don't know if there's door-to-door Tic Tac salesmen, but get at me.
There's not. All right, and lastly, how about this one? Nature running amok is another popular theme for moviegoers. Try running a You Oughta Be Nicer to Mother Nature offering discounted rentals on other companion titles to Ticks, like Arachnophobia, The Fly 2, The Blob. Is that nature running amok? That's more like science fucked around and found out.
Yeah.
Attack of the Crab Monsters, Night of the Lepus, Prophecy, The Birds, Damnation Alley, Attack of the Giant Leeches, and just for fun, Attack of the Killer Tomatoes.
Of course. What about Biosphere?
Oh, Biodome?
Biodome, Biosphere, whatever.
I think this was before Biodome, maybe by like a month or two.
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
this is a little bit before.
Bummer. You could have had like a Pauly Shore, fucking Seth Green double feature.
Yeah. Powerhouse. Columns, pillars, if you will, of the 90s.
Absolutely.
Well, do you guys think of any better promotional ads than counting Tic Tacs that Ticks could have used in 1993?
Definitely.
A monkey hyped up on meth could think of a better idea than those.
Yeah, here's mine.
The blood one was actually pretty good because that's actually a pretty big thing. When blood, donations happen, that's a pretty
donate
good
blood,
thing.
Y'all. That's a good thing to do.
Yeah,
especially if you get that rare blood.
Yeah,
which is the rare one?
Typo negative.
Oh yeah, that's you could give to
typo
anybody.
negative universal donor.
Yeah, that's what you want.
If you got it, give it.
So
up.
I've got all that blood you guys need, but none of you getting it.
That's right. It's staying right in his body where it belongs.
Yeah, and if you hook yourself up like a Mad Max style blood sack, you get a free copy of Ticks.
Woo!
There you go.
All right, here's my idea. Buy a bunch of Ticks. You can probably get it from somewhere.
Like legit real
Ticks.
Okay.
Let them
you do
loose.
is drain all your blood into a bucket.
Yeah. Let them loose in your store. Whoever gets Lyme disease, free rentals.
For life.
For life. But you can only rent Ticks.
Oh, no.
Yeah, that's it.
How many copies are still in rental stores? There's not that many left.
How many rental stores are,
your lifetime supply until 2018. Thanks for getting Lyme disease.
Yeah, so that's why I'm not in marketing. But
I like it. Yeah. I actually like it. It's not going to work, but I like it.
No.
Are we talking about the movie Ticks today?
We are.
A Ticksaster, something like that.
Ticksaster.
Hey, all you creatures from cyberspace. Thanks for joining us on another episode of the GraveTalk podcast. My name is Mark. Again, joined with Garrett and John. Fellas, we're back all together.
Mark, bring the energy up a little bit.
How much more?
There you go.
Is that it?
Welcome back to the GraveTalk podcast. I'm your host, Garrett, brought to you by the Den Mother of Horror, our man Mark, a.k.a. Jerry Ober.
Wait, are we like a morning?
Joined by us.
Yeah, that's morning radio
Yeah.
energy.
I don't know. I haven't listened to morning
You put like
radio
a
in,
slide whistle in there. And
Can we put slide whistles in here, Mark?
We should get, okay, that's our
noise
next
maker?
episode. We need some like sound effects we can play live while we're recording.
yeah, like farts and yeah, absolutely.
Let's make prank
My man
calls.
went straight to farts.
Oh, if you're gonna do 90s radio, it's farts.
I want to do the womp, 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 womp.
I like that. We should crank call GameStop and have to say,
Do you guys have a copy of Ticks?
yes.
Oh,
That's where I was going. How you guys been?
Good. John's also here. We never got the John in that whole mix
That's
up.
all
But I
right.
just want to let you
I'm
know
still
John's
here.
here also.
Thought I said Garrett and John before
You're
you
close.
cut me
Okay.
off, but
if
yeah.
you did, I missed it.
point is, I am here.
How was the
I am
birthday?
John.
You
It was
had a good
good.
birthday?
It was good. I went and saw Fast 10. It was
Fast
Sure it's not
X.
Fast
Fast
X?
Oh, is it Fast X?
I don't know. Depends if we're talking about an iPhone or Jason X or, whatever.
Racer
You
X?
know what would be great if they just made the X really small, so it's like fast versus whatever. They can just put something after the X every time now.
Since there's so many of these, has Fast versus Furious yet?
No.
That's the next one.
Could
Fast
be.
I feel like that was Too Fast, Too Furious.
That was the best title. They really ended early on good titles, but maybe it's Fast multiplies. I don't know. But the point is, what a movie.
Gremlins. Don't get Toretto wet after midnight.
Is Fast divisible by Furious?
Well, there's going to be a remainder.
Mark, you do not want to put math in these movies.
I know.
Let's bust out the long division. I'm not going to talk about Fast 10. It's terrible.
I had a feeling.
Yeah. It's a good spectacle, but also just don't watch it.
Look, when they brought the kid back from Fast 3 Tokyo Drift,
Yeah.
and then they had him shoot a car into space.
I remember that. It was
I was
awesome.
like, this is Jump the Shark. This
Yeah.
is the Jump the Shark episode.
Yeah, it's even more. The shark. They're jumping it even more now. They're hurdling sharks.
Well, they're going to make these forever until people stop spending money because they make way too much money.
Oh, buku
Obscene amounts of money.
Toretto's car shoots sharks now.
Yeah, that would be awesome. John Cena does a great job in these
John
films.
Cena
though. I'm
always does a great job in
hella
everything
impressed.
he's been
Yeah.
Talk about my opinion of an actor really turning around.
Same.
John Cena is. I didn't think he was going to be good.
I want to say Mickey Rourke.
I
thought Mickey Rourke was pretty shitty, but he got pretty good later on.
What, around the wrestler era or before that?
A little bit before that.
the
Once upon a
wrestler.
time in Mexico when he kind of came back and started doing that stuff.
yeah. Okay.
Well, yeah. Anyway, don't watch Fast 10. You close your eyes, imagine what Fast 10 would mean to you, and that's probably it.
Tell you what, to get the same experience, go to your garage, turn your car on, rev that engine with the garage door closed. Same experience.
I would recommend not doing that.
No, yeah.
Yeah, please don't kill yourself, listeners.
No, definitely not for Fast 10.
Because you got two more parts
That's
coming.
right. It is like Fast 10 Part 1. So you got Fast 10 Part 2, a.k.a. Fast 11, Part 3. To close this up, the return of the Fast.
All right. Well, Garrett, do you have anything non-car related?
I do, actually, because you guys keep dropping the fucking ball every week.
I watched
decided to
a
pick up
horror
this-
movie.
Oh, well, then why the fuck didn't you say that?
Because it was less impressive. I watched Renfield.
Oh, was it good?
I enjoyed Renfield
Yeah,
quite
it
a
was
bit.
good. Yeah, it's on Peacock, so you can watch it on the cock.
Nice. I watch everything on the cock.
Obviously, yeah. So no, it was good. It was very enjoyable.
I have a little bit of weird love-hate with the narration aspect of it. I'm always a little bit hesitant when it's like live narration over a movie, but it falls right into place. It's really fun. I really love the self-help aspect of it.
Yes.
Nick Cage is fantastic. He starts off a little slow, but man, he ramps it the fuck up.
Yeah, I like that it built though. If he
Yes.
come in full Cage, that would have been too much right out the gate.
But does Cage energy transfer or translate really well into vampirism?
Yes, it does.
It does, okay.
And they also at the beginning have like the old black and white Dracula kind of lore. They do it in old like black and white, kind of like the old movies.
Okay.
Until the backstory is done like the old original Dracula film. It's really well done. The story itself, it's got some moments. I'm still hit or miss on Awkwafina. I think she's a fine actress. I just sometimes like she seems like she plays herself every single time, and I'm just like, I'm okay. But overall, the movie was really, really good.
Yeah, 3.5 stars.
Oh,
Well, I know what I'm doing tonight.
Well, I watched multiple horror movies.
Ooh, all right,
boy.
Mr. One-Upman.
That's right, One-Upman. John One-Upman. I watched a little movie called Children of the Corn, the recent one. John, you're right. Woof.
Oof.
That is trash upon trash.
Did you not believe him? Did you not believe him when
No,
he
no,
said I watched
but
them all and they all suck?
Yeah.
At the same time, though, but if I believed what people believe, like the Christians would have convinced me that sex was bad. And you know what? That's fantastic.
I'm so almost done with my quickie, y'all. I've been putting in work for you listeners, so make sure to it's
There's been nothing quick about what John's doing.
dude, and my eyes are bleeding, but
He's planted his crops. He's growing it. The corn's coming along.
He's growing corn in real time, and we'll be able to have the quickie when he's done.
dude,
anyway, let me finish
there's
my
11
review.
of these. Give me a break. There's so many.
You could
true.
just phone half of them and be like, there was some corn and some kids. Done.
Yeah, that'd be wrong. Some of them don't even have kids.
Anyway, the acting in this one was actually pretty decent. The kids did a really good job, believe it or not. The story, the plot, oh God, it's really rough.
What'd you think of the Groot cameo?
I wasn't going to talk about that because I thought it was a bit of a spoiler, but yes, it's an interesting flick. I give him credit for trying something new, but sometimes after 11 tries, let sleeping dogs lie. I watched another movie called Malum, which just came out. That's the Last Shift remake or upgrade or whatever you want to call it.
Is that available anywhere yet?
Yeah, I bought it on iTunes.
Okay.
It's really, I don't know, it's good and bad. So it's really good in the fact that the gore, the effects, the filmmaking itself all stepped up, in my opinion. I thought it was a much better production overall. I really like the lead actress. I really like some of the character interactions. The dialogue's a lot better, in my opinion. But there was something good about the kind of the lower budget of the first one. Felt more at home. This one, a little bit, they had to ratchet up the tension a little bit too much at times. So it's kind of like they tried to make it a bigger spectacle than it needed to be.
So they upped the Hollywood game on it.
Yes.
Probably a bigger budget, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, the gore stuff is a lot more intense, though. So I enjoyed some of that. If you liked Last Shift, you're going to dig this movie.
Well, if we're going to compare, which one's better, in your opinion?
Oh, man. I'm going to say Last Shift. Personally, I like the simplicity. I like the fact that there was definitely some scares, but it wasn't like trying to really just shove it down your throat the way Malum did. But Malum was really good. Again, I prefer Last Shift, but Malum is really solid.
Okay. I will check that one out.
Yeah.
Definitely check that one out. And then I watched a little movie called Kill Her Goats, starring Kane Hodder.
Not goats.
Goats.
I love goats.
This movie is a pure homage to the 80s slashers. You want tits? Bam, you got it.
Ooh.
You want massive gore? Bam, you got it. You
Okay.
want kind of low budget setting, but really beautifully shot scenes? You got that too. I really enjoyed this one, but holy shit. This movie is an hour and 30 minutes long. You could have cut out 15 minutes of this movie and not affected anything. I mean, don't get me wrong. I love a good naked lady shower scene. Big fan. But I don't need 3 of them, and I don't need them to last 5 minutes apiece. At that point, I'll just go watch porn.
Was this movie starring people of the adult industry?
Yeah.
No, it doesn't star the last nude playmate from Playboy, but she has
Okay.
a little side role. She's
Okay.
not really a main character. This is fun. Basically, this woman inherits a house. She gets bought by her dad for graduation. And then her sister and her friends are going to join her there. But it's the pit house, which has this history of being a place where people went crazy and killed a bunch of people. And I can't believe we're here. And then it's basically just watch a bunch of girls kind of go through their little routine as things start happening. And it's fun.
All right, I want you to spoil something. Does Kane kill goats in this movie?
No.
Oh, good.
Okay, so
I'm
are
actually-
goats
you know what?
in danger in this movie?
So, no. Actually, the goats are ancillary. Kane Hodder's character is called Goatface. And he has a giant goat head on, and he's got this double lightsaber weed whacker chainsaw thing with sparklers on it. I'm not selling it. It's stupid as fuck as a weapon, but when you look at it, it looks really cool.
Okay.
This one was interesting. I want to recommend it because if you like 80s slasher stuff, it's fun. But there is a lot of chaff in this. There's so much that you could just be like, I don't need. Watching a woman walk into her house, set down her groceries, go, oh, wine, and then get her wine out, and then uncork her wine, and then fill her wine, and then smell her wine, and then taste her wine, and then walk around the house and jump on the bed with wine, and then get down and be like, oh, yeah, wine. I don't need that.
Don't jump
For
on the
10
bed
minutes.
with wine. That's bad
Maybe
news.
we shouldn't jump on the bed with wine, but there's a fucking 10-minute scene where you just watch her in her house and you're just like, no, there's no development of anything.
Well, that's because they had 45 minutes of plot that they needed to make 90 minutes.
They forgot to hire an editor, one of the two.
Yeah.
Amateur horror movies. Do not let your actors and actresses ad lib. If it is not written in the script, maybe don't do it. I don't need a girl going to be like, la la la, I'm having so much fun in my house. I can't believe this is mine. Oh, wow. Look at that. Oh, birds, you're so friendly. And it's like, whoa, 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 whoa. At some point, you sound crazy.
What if I told you that was in the script, though?
Honestly, I should write the guy and find out because it was a little bit distracting at times. But it was fun. I enjoyed it.
So Killer Goats is a recommend?
If you really like 80s slasher flicks, yes.
Okay, I do. So I'll check that one out at some point. Well, I watched something from 1993 to keep it in the 93s. I watched Freaked, starring Alex Winter, Mr. T, Brooke Shields, Randy Quaid.
That's not really a horror movie, though, is it?
No, but
Okay.
it's like a monster. It felt like it could
Yeah, kind of.
live side by side with Trauma. But it was a very fun comedy that I had never seen, but I've seen like the cover. You know, Bill from Bill and Ted. It's
do.
that guy. He's like half monster face, and he's in a carnival. And it's actually a really funny movie. I can't believe it took me so long to watch it.
That's the one with the plane crash thing, and the kid falls out off the plane, wing of the plane at the end.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that might be one of the kids from The Sandlot.
I think so.
Yeah. Anyways, it's really funny.
It's a fucked up movie.
It's really hard to find these days, so I bought a physical copy, got it on Blu-ray. There's 0 features on it. When you put the disc in, it just plays the movie.
I know what it is, and that's actually a fan rip. You bought it off
is it?
Amazon, didn't you?
No, I bought it off some secondary website.
Oh, yeah. So Amazon sells like we're just making this on video, on physical disc now, because no one else is.
It had Anchor Bay's name on it.
That's fine. They take the original movie and they just re-upload it to a disc. They just burn them.
Well, that's fine with me. It looked fine. Anyways, if you can find a copy of Freaked, check it out. All right, Gary, you got some news for us?
Oh, man, we got so much news. Mark, didn't you buy that Friday the 13th game?
I did buy that game. I've had it for a long time.
Well, the license is expiring and it's no longer going to be sold as of December.
It's not going to be sold, and they're taking the servers down. So as of end of 2024, I believe it was, you won't be able to play it anymore. You can still play the offline content. That's not what the point of the game is. The point is to play with people and murder them in cabins.
Well, you'll be happy to know that someone else has the rights to it and someone else is making a Friday the 13th game. And I'm just like, what the fuck?
So they got to get these rights sorted out. This is ridiculous, man.
Well, we got the TV show coming to Peacock, and somebody's working on something somewhere. But yes, Harry Manfredini, the guy that made the music for Friday the 13th, let slip that he's making music for a new game. There's no details yet. We have no idea what it's going to be, but I'm hopeful, but I'd rather have a new movie, please.
Yeah.
We've been doing this podcast for how long?
Over 5 years.
Over 5 years. We haven't had a single new Friday movie. We haven't had a single new Nightmare on Elm Street movie. And they're rebooting Leprechaun.
I hope they release a new Friday movie with Chris Tucker and Ice Cube. And you're like, there you go, Mark. You got what you asked for.
I'll take it.
Look, if it's Ice Cube wearing a hockey mask, I might be into that. But yes, they're also rebooting Leprechaun. Woohoo. They're bringing that franchise back from the one that just came out in 2018, 2019, right before the pandemic.
Yeah.
I thought it was decent.
It's
pretty
fine.
good. So I don't know. Why do we need to do another origin of this thing?
Because people like Leprechaun movies, I guess. But do they really?
Well, yeah, that's questionable.
I don't know. These things take a life of their own. So that's why they keep making all these movies in franchises that seemingly nobody cares about. I've never met a Leprechaun stan. Maybe there's one out there. Let me know. Get to our Twitter or Instagram and tell me I live, die, breathe Leprechaun. Okay.
Live, laugh, love Leprechaun.
Yeah. I'd like to see your Leprechaun shrine if you have some sort of Leprechaun room.
I want to hear your Leprechaun
Please
rhymes.
do not send us
Oh.
your Leprechaun shrines.
Please do.
Via social media. No.
You can send us your rhymes, though.
Yo.
Spit some rhymes at us.
Spit hot
Address those
fire.
to John and Mark only.
Well, any other news, Garrett?
They're making an Insidious side franchise with Kumail Nanjiani and Mandy Moore.
Really?
Yeah. I don't know what that's going to be like.
Real
but
named actors, I heard.
Yeah, it's a franchise spinoff. So I'm interested to see that. Richard Brake is doing a new horror movie where he plays like a crazy psycho killer. Richard Brake from Rob Zombie's 31.
Oh, right. He was the guy in The Munsters who created Herman.
Yes.
Oh,
He's called The Gates. Man, Richard Brake is awesome when he plays like a psycho. So that could be really rad.
He's a good actor.
But yeah, I mean, also, Mark, your blessed monster cereals. Did you hear?
Oh, yes.
They were getting a new lady monster, Carmella Creeper.
I'm
What flavor is that?
caramel apple.
Okay, sign me up.
Maybe.
And we're getting Monster Mash Remix, where they add all the monster cereals together into one cereal.
Gross? Question mark?
Yeah.
Probably. Chocolate, blueberry, strawberry, and now caramel apple.
Banana. Fruit Roots banana, I think.
Well, he's more of a berry.
Mummy, the mummy's banana.
Yummy Mummy, I think, is a banana.
The main thing is they all taste like sugar.
Yes.
So when you put it all together, you're just going to get sugar.
Why don't we go ahead and get into 1993's direct-to-video classic, Ticks. This one was directed by Tony Randall. You might know him as the director of Hellbound, Hellraiser 2. Mm-hmm. He's
Hell
done-
raisin.
Like Raisin Bran?
Yes.
Hell Raisins. I just saw that Tony Randall has a credit for the editor of Sharkensaw Women's Prison Massacre.
Yep. I actually looked this dude up.
7 Degrees from that movie has everyone in Hollywood.
He's also done 2 movies, like low-budget Skinamax movies called like Inside Her.
Yes, he did. Inside Out 2. Is that what you're thinking of?
Yeah,
An
that
Inside
is.
Out?
Yeah.
And he did one of y'all's favorites.
Ooh.
Amityville, 1992. It's about time.
Get out! That explains why this movie is such a banger.
Jesus Christ.
I went out of this podcast, you guys.
Apparently also a 1995 adaptation of the anime Fist of the North Star.
Yep.
Okay.
I don't know if I ever saw that one. I've
No.
seen the show.
It's got a lot of producing stuff, too.
The special effects were done by Doug Beswick, and probably one of the best parts of the movie is the end credit, John, where it says, hey, this was an idea by Doug Beswick.
Yes. How do you get idea by credit?
We've been talking about getting at it for the podcast.
Yes.
That's what we want to see, an idea by GraveTalk Podcast. We'll sell you our ideas if you're out there, directors
Yeah.
and movie producers. $20 a pop.
Okay,
We'll
maybe
start
more
cheap.
than
Bucks
that.
are-
Calm
that's it.
down.
Hold on. Mark does not speak for the financials of the Grave Talk podcast.
I have all money or no money. I can't figure it out. I'm really bad at managing my money, but I
He's
thought
like,
that was a good
listeners,
start.
I need a place to stay.
Doug Beswick has credits doing a lot of effects work. Started off doing The Howling, Ghostbusters, King Kong Lives, A Nightmare on Elm Street 3, Dream Warriors.
Oh, wow.
Nightmare on Elm Street, Dream Child, Drop Dead Fred, and Ticks was his last special effects feature. So he worked on a lot of, and he was involved with Greg Nicotero of Walking Dead Creepshow fame, who did a lot of the Ticks effects in this movie.
I bet he stopped after Ticks because he's had this idea since the whole time he's in Hollywood, and he's been working through movies, building his connection. Then he got his idea made, and he's like, I'm done.
It doesn't get better than this.
I am
Thank you,
out.
Alfonso, for being in my Tick movie.
Yeah.
Oh my God, Alfonso Ribeiro in this movie.
Yes.
Jesus Christ, can we please hurry up and get into this?
Let's get into this. So here's who stars in this movie. Rosalind Allen as Holly Lambert. Rosalind was also in Children of the Corn too. Mm-hmm. Amy Dolenz playing Dee Dee Davenport. I think that's the annoying blonde that was sitting in the sun and goes, I need my shade.
She was in Can't Buy Me Love.
Okay.
She was in the 80s flick Can't Buy Me Love.
Okay.
and
Yeah.
also Witchboard 2.
Ooh.
Yeah. Seth Green. Who doesn't know Seth Green? In 1993, there was a lot of Seth Green happening, fellas.
Was this early or was this a little bit later in his little nerd rise to stardom?
So there were 3 movies released in 1993 that Seth Green was in.
Can't Hardly Wait, wasn't it?
No.
That was later.
In 1990, he was in TV It, Stephen
Right.
King's adaptation It as Ricky.
I
Richie.
didn't realize he was in that.
Yeah.
Yeah, he
Okay.
played young Richie. In 1993, he did this movie. He did Arcade, which is about it's a full moon movie. You know, the guys who brought you Puppet Master.
Okay. Classic.
You put on a VR headset and then you get wrecked. It's like the video game kills you. It's called Arcade.
Okay.
And Airborne.
Don't know that one either.
It is an amazing movie about rollerblading, and it has Jack Black and Seth Green in it.
Yes, Airborne is a fucking rad flick. It's terrible.
It's great.
But it is
It's trash, but you have to see it.
that the one where he moves to Iowa?
Yes. So
Yes, he's
Seth
a
Green.
surfer and he moves to Iowa and since he can't surf, he skates.
Well, the main character is Seth Green's cousin.
That's
and
right,
he's a
that's
surfer in
right.
California, but his parents are going on some big trip across seas, and they send him to live with Seth Green in Iowa. And he's on his bed on his surfboard pretending to surf the waves, bro.
That movie sounds so 90s.
It is. You should watch
so
it.
Okay.
At the end, they have a big rollerblade race down a mountain, and kids are getting smashed left and right by cars.
which is a ripoff of the movie Thrashin', which is a skateboard race down a mountain.
Okay.
Starring Josh Brolin's
Yeah.
and Red Hot Chili Peppers. Fucking Thrashin', man.
Probably better than Airborne.
Also known as Street Gang.
So
God,
anyways.
let's talk about fucking shitty 90s movies
Yes,
from
we
here on
could.
out.
We should. But anyway, what I'm saying is your options are open when it comes to 1993 Seth Green.
good to
I would
know.
probably pick Airborne over all those.
Over Ticks?
Yes.
Ooh, okay.
Dude, Airborne's fun.
Also starring Virginia Keene as Melissa Danson, Ray Oriel as Rome Hernandez, Alfonso Ribeiro as Daryl Panic Lumley, Peter Scolari as Charles Danson.
It's the Scolari brothers.
I wish. Michael Medeiros as Jerry, Dina Darrett as Kelly, and Clint Howard as Jarvis Tanner.
Jarvis Tanner, he had a fucking name.
He had a name.
Oh, God, it would have been better if it was just rando dude.
There may be a couple other people, but I think that's all that really matters.
Yeah.
And even then, that was way too many.
This movie was shot on a budget of $1.5 million. I have no idea how much it made because it was straight to video. So
I assume
we
like
don't have those numbers.
$100 million.
Clearly, that's why there's been so many sequels. Ticks 10.
Coming soon.
2 Ticks, 2 Furious.
Love it. Ticks 2, ticked off.
Why don't we get paid for this?
I don't know.
Anyway,
You just answered your own question.
currently on Rotten Tomatoes, Ticks is sitting at a 71% out of 7 reviews.
A 71%. Now, not critics, right?
That's the critic score.
No.
Yep. Seven critics were like, you know what? Yeah.
Hi, I'm Tana Johnson in my basement. I really like ticks and I like to review films. I'm a critic. That's the only way that
Well,
works.
that's 6 out of 7 critics approve. I love it.
30% with the audience.
What?
There we go.
Audience, get
That's
it.
what I'm talking about.
Oh, they're
Look, this movie can be a 30% and still love it. In fact, somebody at this fucking podcast may have gone on to Amazon and bought a $35 physical Blu-ray of this movie.
You did not.
I fucking did.
Are
It
you-
was the Shout Factory Special Edition.
Are you sure it was Shout and not Vinegar
No,
Syndrome?
Vinegar Syndrome. That's what it was.
I was eyeballing that and I was like, I really want to see the making of, but I'm not spending $40
There
to do
is a
it.
ton of special features, and I was like, I have to know everything.
Okay, well, you're going to lend that to me when you're done with it because I have to see that stuff.
Hopefully, it
hope-
doesn't end up like your Spookies copy.
Okay, well,
I hope
No,
there's
leave
a-
it in the episode. Call this baby to account. A baby ruined Mark's Spookies copy.
just the box.
No. I hope there's an answer to my one problem with this movie. So when we get to it in the plot, I only have one note.
You
Just
have
one?
note.
One note. There's only one thing.
Otherwise, perfect movie, says
Otherwise-
John, GraveTalk podcast.
Yes.
Where's that on the Vinegar Syndrome
Let's
box?
check his what is it, letterbox?
Oh, I didn't log it in Letterboxd, but I'd probably give it 4 stars. I had to take a full star away though for how big of a jump cut I noticed when
Okay.
we get there.
Here's what the back of the VHS copy has to say about ticks. Mammoth mutant killer insects terrorize a Northern California campground in this horrific tale of ecological disaster from the director of Hellbound, Hellraiser 2. A group of teenagers on a wilderness weekend encounter a swarm of giant predatory wood ticks mutated to terrifying proportions by growth steroids dumped into the water table by ruthless marijuana farmers. As one by one, the rangers begin to fall victim to the ticks' deadly hallucinatory venom, a brutal forest blaze breaks out, trapping the panic-stricken teens in their cabin. Surrounded by the vicious insects on one side and the fire on the other, their only hope for survival is to rely on each other if they can last that long.
They really gave you like 2/3 of the movie there.
The fire is only at the very end,
Yeah.
too. They make it sound like it's a bigger point than it is.
Yeah, all right, whatever. Are these ticks mammoth? I guess they're mammoth for ticks, so it's all relative.
Right. Normally a tick is like,
Yeah.
what, the size of a rice grain?
Pretty much. So yeah, I guess they are mammoth.
One of my
in-
favorite things is they're like, you can't squish them, and the whole movie they just squish them.
Oh, yeah, you want to talk about nonsense. Ticks are kind of known for being hard to squish, which we're told by Seth Green's character whenever Alfonso gets a tick on him, right? Or his dog does.
It's because you don't want to squish them when they're on you because the head stays in you.
Right. But then to Garrett's point, once they grow in proportion, apparently they're the easiest thing to pop like fucking popcorn.
Well, they're on the ground. They haven't bit you.
But they still squish easy.
Well-
I've held a tick in my
Yes,
hand and
they
tried to
don't
squish.
squish.
They don't. But
So
these guys
wait,
just
whoa,
pop.
whoa. Let's get back to this tick situation here. What do you mean the head?
You can pop the body. The body gets filled with blood.
Yes,
so you
correct.
pop the body.
Nature's water balloon.
Right. And all you've done is squish the body, and there's still a little tick head in you, and you want to make sure to pull that out.
But
too.
it's dead though, right?
It is dead, but you
Right,
still
but it
don't
can
want
cause-
it.
Okay, not like in this
Yeah.
movie where it starts climbing into your body further.
No, but yes, you can get Lyme disease. That's the big tick thing.
Oh.
so.
Yeah.
I love limes.
So you want to, well, it's not that kind of, it's Lyme.
Yeah, you don't turn
Everything
into-
tastes like Sprite.
Yeah, your skin grows green, but
Is it really?
no.
Oh.
So, yes, this.
God, you guys are the worst medical professionals. I got to quit going to you for my problems.
Yeah, you want to get them out of your body before you kill them for that reason. So this movie has a lot of energy that I felt
Big
from-
tick energy. That's what you meant to say.
Yes.
really resembles the 1950s atomic giant creature monster movies. You know, the giant ant, tarantula. How about the deadly mantis? I got a lot of vibes from that.
Yeah, but I believe radiation could do that. That's just one of radiation's powers. I don't know if green sludge can do it, though.
Not quite, right?
No.
Everybody in the 50s, we had just split the atom and unlocked the science behind the atomic bomb.
Yeah.
So everybody was like, holy shit, we're going to make giant bugs that kill us all, right? That was the 50s mentality. Here, what are we doing? Big bad marijuana men are going to spray pesticides or growth steroids?
Growth
You almost said
steroids.
pestilence.
Yeah, what is a growth? Is there anti-growth steroid? Aren't all steroids growth steroids?
I don't know. I don't think so. No.
All right, well, we can keep saying growth steroid in case it's
Let's just say steroid from here on out.
I don't
Fair.
think plant steroids turn ticks into super ticks.
Neither does radiation make you into a giant super monster. It slowly kills you and rots you. But,
To be determined.
TBD, Mark.
The science is out there.
Yeah, has anyone radiated a tick?
I'm not going to listen to you basically question the science of ticks if you're going to accept giant radioactive monsters and spiders.
That's totally believable.
Well, look, I'm gonna give the 1950s a pass. We hadn't even made it to the moon yet.
Yeah, that's true.
They were just coming up. It was scary stuff going on.
No way. That's great.
We landed on the moon!
In the 90s, marijuana has been smoked for thousands of years at this point.
Yeah.
Crops have been grown. So the believability of like mutating a tick into some killer monster at this point, that's a little more questionable.
I do love that their whole operation's run by like a hamster in a wheel. When they were panning through their weed setup, it was awesome.
Right.
They're fucking Pee-wee's Big Adventure, like,
So
house
great.
montage.
Only gross. Yeah, I got that same, I can say energy all episode now.
Big tick energy.
You're right. But yeah, so the beginning of this movie, we go into a work shed where all this like mousetrap style contraptions is all set up to like spray chemical on stuff.
Well, Mark, I hate to interrupt you. Before we get to this movie, we get the production company sequence.
Okay.
Where we have FilmRise, an early production company. We've got a couple other, interesting companies that came out and, did their thing. And one company in particular decided to put their title sequence 3 different times with 3 different logo animated intros. This is the room level shit where it was Zoe Productions 3 different times. I could not believe I was watching this happen again.
I can't believe you noticed that. I couldn't have named one production company.
Yeah, there's a production company that has that like their same title. It's the same production company, but they have like 2 or 3 different like
Amazing.
animated intros, and they play both of them or 3 of them, and I'm just like, wow, y'all went for it.
Look, they paid a guy. He made 5 in one day. We're showing them all to get that money's worth.
It was so funny.
Where did you guys watch this? I watched a free copy on YouTube.
Same.
I rented it on Amazon because I will not watch anything with commercials, and I wasn't willing to risk it. But let me tell you something, Amazon Prime, if you're listening, your digital copy on your servers is fucked up. We had artifacting, we had sound, we had video drop like half the screen. The digital file they have uploaded to their servers is corrupt.
Well, you're the first person who's ever rented
That's
it.
what I'm saying. We were watching. I was like, that can't be right. Let's rewind it. Make sure it wasn't just a little glitch of the network or whatever. No, it's embedded into the movie. It's fucked up.
Great. I love it when when I watched Maniac Cop 2 on Amazon, that copy digitally was fucked up as well. So it's not uncommon for these old horror movies.
Really funny though.
I didn't do the Amazon route because I saw it was only in standard def, and I wanted to go the 720 route at least. So it looked a little better on YouTube, I think.
Well, I got a high-end copy on its way, Mark. So when that arrives, I'll let you know.
1080.
I can't wait. I had to go. I was really trying to find the special features on the Vinegar Syndrome release so I could get some details. The best I could do was find somebody who reviewed the Vinegar Syndrome copy. And they said that in the special features, there was original cut of ticks that completely sucked. So basically,
Like a tick?
Yeah.
No.
Basically,
This is why y'all pay me the big bucks.
that's right. You get a percentage of nothing. All the stuff with Clint Howard is the reshoot.
What?
All of it is
Wait a
the
minute.
reshoot.
Wait a minute.
Yep.
No.
Yeah.
The
So
whole
they-
weed subplot?
just his stuff.
Oh
the
my-
other 2 guys running around, they're in the movie originally.
How did that happen? Did they meet Clint Howard and was like, you need to be in this movie?
Maybe, I don't know. That's why I want to
Did
watch
he
the special
weasel
features.
his way into it and convince them to do reshoots and add it into a movie?
He just started showing up on set, and they were like, all right, come on, Clint.
I can tell you, without Clint Howard, this movie would be like a 1.5
I
for
don't
me.
know about that. This movie was great from start to
Yeah.
finish.
He helped push it to 4, but at worst, it'd be a 3 for me.
He's got the best moment in the movie. I'm infested.
I did enjoy that part as much as I enjoyed
was
him like
hilarious.
stepping in the bear trap and be like, whoa.
I mean, I'm Infested was probably the best part of the movie, but
My favorite part of his thing was when he walks over to the cut open, destroyed, ripped apart fucking hamster and he goes, man, you're all messed up. I was like, yeah, obviously, bro.
so these ticks are big, they're mammoth, and per the movie, they make a very loud scuttling sound whenever they walk.
They pitter pat across any surface. They're
Yeah, they're all wearing like tap dance shoes, and yet no one in this movie,
It's Gregory Hines as a tick.
Yes.
no one in this movie can ever find them or hear that they're coming or see them at all till it's too late. It's kind of a miracle.
Well, the noises is for us, John, the viewer. Otherwise, there would be no sound on screen. I think in real life, these insects wouldn't be making
That's
any
why their
sounds.
eggs roar. Did you not notice that too? It was like,
Well, I
gurgle,
see-
gurgle, roar.
That's what
I was
tick-
like, oh my God, the egg just roared.
I think that's what tick eggs do, so I don't know. Okay, fair point. I assumed that the audio, though, because it was so prevalent and so loud and so obvious, was meant to be like in-universe audio as well. But I guess
I thought
not.
so too.
Yeah.
I think that's
mean-
what it was supposed to be. I just think we have to like suspend disbelief with ticks.
It is in the movie in universe, yes, but they wanted the movie to pop a little bit more, is
Okay.
what I'm saying. You notice how that one weird horny redneck guy was carrying around that whip, and he was like,
Jerry.
Yeah, I was like, that whip wouldn't make that sound
No.
with the movement he made.
Oh, when he broke out his cat of nine tails, I was like, oh, Jerry, I need to know everything about your life.
Yes, the whole marijuana subplot is its own thing.
lot.
that is just fucking bananas. But this movie Ticks is what's considered, the phrase I hate to say, a creature feature. I don't really like that.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah,
I don't
I like
like
that.
it. I don't like the rhyming of it. But anyway,
I love things that rhyme. If it rhymes, it shines.
This is why he loves Leprechaun.
good point. This might be the first creature feature we've had on this podcast.
Is the blob not a creature feature?
The blob is a creature feature.
Well, it's from space. I'm thinking like killer.
Gremlins is kind of a creature feature.
I'm thinking like killer bugs,
Animals, okay.
right? Animals. The movie Mosquito, Squirm, Night of the Lepus, Guillermo del Toro's The Mimic. You know, the roaches under the subway, that whole kind of thing. I don't think we've done like a killer bug movie. Is kind of what I meant.
No, I guess we haven't done a killer bug movie. That's true. Well, now we have.
I mean, we could get into the actual like what do ticks like really behave like because I don't know if so. They dig their head in, they drink your blood. Once they're full, do they just let go
I think they kind of stay there, man.
Yeah. they just-
forever.
yeah.
Yeah.
It's like a permanent resident.
Have you ever seen those pictures of dogs that are just like covered in ticks when they
Poor
go out in the
things.
woods? It's
Yeah.
fucking terrifying.
They wait on leaves and they jump on you. They're
Yeah.
big jumpers.
What?
Yeah, man. They're gross.
They're-
They're not. They're a nasty insect.
Yeah.
Oh, I fucking hate this.
Oh, yeah,
this
they're
is
terror-
terrifying.
That's why I was bringing up the creature feature and all the other bug movies. Like, can you think of any others that really stand out? Like, ticks are fucking horrible. There's that 80s movie, The Nest, that's all about roaches. That's
Squirm.
Roaches are gross.
Squirm is
There's
worm-
the fly,
yeah, worms.
right? You become a fly. That's fucking
not really- I don't
terrifying.
know if I consider that a creature feature. That's more of like a
Monster
Body
science
horror,
gone
yeah.
wrong. Yeah, body horror. Yeah.
There's one I remember watching as a kid called Ants with an exclamation
Yep.
point. And it was a made-to-TV movie with like Suzanne Summers and Stacy Keach and Brian Dennehy. And all I remember is like these people in a hotel sitting and they tore off the wallpaper and rolled it up into funnels and just breathed while all these ants just like covered their bodies. And this guy like freaks out and he jumps out the window trying to get into a swimming pool but misses, eats pavement. So
Wow, that would terrify me to be covered with bugs and have to breathe through a tube.
yeah, no, these kind of things.
I would be permanently damaged.
yeah.
No amount of therapy would ever like make me okay again.
yeah.
Fucking hate ants.
They're very important to the ecosystem.
Anyway, back to ticks. Ticks.
Ticks
So they
are
don't jump
gross.
off your body after they get full.
No, they're there, man.
Yeah, they just
Permanent residents.
gesture. They just
So are their heads designed to pull off, or are they just like that dug in that they just get ripped off naturally?
Yeah, their little mandibles are so strong that they will tear their body off when you try to pull
I
them
want to tear their body
off.
That's a face-off thing. You guys can't see my hand gesture, but I'm doing the face-off thing.
Yeah, I'm not really a super tick expert. I just, I love to go hiking, so I just know, when you go hiking.
Do they
when you're
let go
done-
when you burn them? Because like the thing is, if you pop them, that doesn't do anything. The head's still inside of you, right?
Oh, the whole exploding on contact with fire thing is just the thing this movie does?
Yes.
Yeah, it actually makes them agitated and they pull out.
Yeah.
And then you
Okay.
can kill them once you get them out of the skin.
Okay.
Yeah, they don't blow up like this movie shows. They're not little. That would be awesome though. Nature's firecrackers.
I was like, with those little paper pop things.
Yes.
I'm so not going outside ever again.
Well, yeah, it sucks, but it's just part of nature, and they're not like as
Nature's
prevalent
terrible.
in at least this part of Texas as in some other places.
Wow. Okay, so they don't explode on contact.
No, they are little vicious bastards.
Okay, interesting. Do they? And they'll eat anything with blood, right?
It's mostly like humans definitely get them all the time, but it's really more of a dog thing because dogs are always running into bushes and shit.
Fucking
And
dogs, man.
you just gotta, give them their medicine.
Parasitic arachnids, if you didn't know they belonged to the
Really, the arachnid.
Huh? I did not know that.
Yeah.
That's even scarier. So they're like blood spiders.
Yeah.
All right, I fucking hate everything about this. Let's talk about this movie, which I did enjoy.
How does this one kick off?
Well, after we get through the weird factory, we see it dropping the green, what I called toxic sludge, because at the time I didn't realize it was supposed to be steroids. It's like neon green.
Well, we get a giant weed growing facility, and I was like, oh, we've got weed, so this is going to be highbrow at some point.
Definitely.
But and then we start getting to the machinery run by the hamster, and yeah, you're right. We get like this toxic gooey sludge. It looks like that old like ecto ooze stuff from when you were a kid, and I was like, what the fuck is it? I was like, are they making like a weed paste, a weed compound?
Yeah.
Are you injecting weed now? Like, what is this?
I assumed we were watching the invention of hemp beer. Someone's growing hemp beer.
Finally, the taste of beer and hemp together.
They exist.
Oh, it's so not good.
Well, the toxic goo falls into the earth, which then apparently is just infested with ticks, and we get...
I thought it fell into a grate, which went into a,
Oh, yes,
a
it did
sewer
fall.
system, which leads to begs the question, not leads to beg, that this shack in the fucking upper Northern California woods has an entire underground sewer
True.
system.
You'd probably have a septic tank, if anything. Now, that'd be something. A bunch of ticks coming out of a shit-filled septic tank. There's a
Okay,
visual
at
for
the
you.
end when the propane tank blows up, I thought that was a septic tank at first, and I was like, why are they showing that? And then it blew up, and I was like, oh, it's propane. I was like, that'd been really different if the septic tank blew up.
Shit starts raining everywhere. And then it cuts to Seth Green and his dad. I don't remember Seth Green's real name.
Tyler. Seth Green's
Well-
real name is Seth Green, John.
In this movie, Tyler and his dad's just like, all right, enjoy going to the fucking wilderness. I don't really remember the speech, but
he's like, look, if there was any other way, I'd do it. But this is all I can think of. So you're going to go spend time in the wilderness, and I got to go. And I was like, I love this movie.
and then
All of Tyler's problems start and end with father abandonment,
Dude.
and he's still doing it in this movie.
this is so fucked up because we find out later that his dad like abandoned him in the wilderness, and then his
Is that what happened?
yes,
Oh.
and then like I
Like
guess
on purpose or just lost him?
He got drunk and wandered off.
Wait, really? Did they
Yes.
actually say that?
Yeah.
What?
Tyler, so he's like lost in the woods for 3 days before he finds his way home, and now his dad's like, you need to go back to the woods.
Yeah, great thinking, Dad. He says that
To the scene of the crime.
Tyler, aka Seth Green's character, says that all he remembers from this fugue state he was in was hugging a tree until somebody found him. I was like, what? And his dad's then's like, you're going back in the woods. Bye.
And if you're curious what that looks like, don't worry. They show you. They have a flashback scene immediately. We're 5 minutes into this movie and we're already having flashback scenes.
Tyler goes through PTSD throughout the entire movie as soon as he's left alone.
Is amazing, and this is like a classic 80s to 90s parenting though, where they're just like, okay, yeah, get the fuck out of here, and so he drops him off under this overpass.
Yes,
and
and if you don't know
leaves.
this overpass, if you've ever played GTA, you immediately know this overpass.
It's like in the hood, and his dad's just like, all right, I gotta go fucking get drunk, see you later.
So what's happening exactly? We're going to have a van of adults show up and pick these troubled teens up and take them out to the woods for
If
what?
Matt Foley came out of that van, like, well, take your teens down to the river.
Okay.
I wish.
I really don't know what's happening because
I do.
I know what they say is happening, but these
Well, then you know what's happening.
No, because these counselors are the worst counselors that have ever.
I don't think they're
brought
counselors.
kids-
I think this is just a couple,
two
not even a married couple. They're living in sin, out of wedlock.
They're supposedly taking these kids out away from the urban environment to reconnect with nature so that they will stop being little hoodlums or, well, not all hoodlums. They're also a mix of like hoodlums, and one girl was raped. Tyler is
Oh yeah,
like,
you want to drop
abandoned.
that on us at the fucking
Like, yeah.
Jesus Christ! I had that note being like, okay, stop this movie. Like, what is going on here?
I was making fun of that character, calling her the sad emo kid throughout the entire thing until she's like, and I was raped. And I was like, oh shit. shit.
Yeah, like
What?
movie? But don't worry, because
We'll get to this. We'll get to this.
When she starts talking, that's all behind her. She's totally healed. Nature healed her. This movie's so fucked
The
up.
power of fishing in a boggy creek.
No,
Yes.
guys, let's get to that in a minute because there's so much to say about that shit.
So
We're under the bridge.
Tyler's dropped off in the hood, and this is where we meet Panic, who
Daryl.
aka Alfonso Ribeiro.
who's the most gangster I've ever seen on film. Boys in the Hood, get out of here. Ticks. Okay?
You thought his portrayal as the bad boy was good?
So believable. I was like, this guy's seen some shit.
He's seen ticks.
Just so you know, he's still acting in Fresh Prince of Bel-Air at this time.
Wait, was he? I thought this might have been before Fresh Prince.
This is in the middle.
The middle?
Fresh Prince ended in 1996.
Are you sure this movie didn't get like made and then been held in the can as he was working on Fresh Prince?
I
and
really
then got
doubt it.
released during Fresh Prince time.
I very much doubt that.
Wow. So one day he is dancing the Carlton, and the other day he's out there going, if you miss, I kill you.
Well,
Basketball, he means.
He walks up under the bridge and he's like,
We're gonna play a game, Holmes. Here's the deal. You sing a gimme, you live. You brick, you don't. See, they call me Panic because I never do. How about you?
Literally, the script of this movie could be my notes. I wanted to write down every single word that came out of every character's mouth. It is insane. We're about to get to one of my favorites where he goes, do I look Mexican to you? And Seth Green goes, yes.
Right. So Panic says he's going to stab Seth Green if he doesn't make a basket.
Yes. But
Makes 2 baskets.
Seth, sleeper basketball hustler, just swish, swish.
how come we never got an Eddie Furlong, Seth Green, like buddy cop flick?
Different.
Underage cops.
Would they have been the same age in 92?
When did T2
maybe
come
they were.
out?
Yeah, 91, 92.
Yeah, they would have been about the same age.
Okay. Yeah, we really lost.
The bad boys of cinema.
Oh, man. So the van shows up with our adults. I don't know why they made this the pickup target, not like their office or their home or anywhere else.
Because you go to where the troubled kids are, under a bridge.
Then why not pick them up from their houses?
It makes
Anyway.
Look, everything about this screams legal problem.
yeah.
Right. So they make their way out to the wilderness. We're
Well,
introduced.
whoa.
You want to do introduce our characters?
We're introducing our characters because
Okay.
out of the van comes 2 girls. One of them is the daughter of the dad, who's, I guess it's his idea to do this. I think he's a psychiatrist.
He's shit at that.
The
and
adults
he's-
are named Chuck and Holly.
Okay, Chuck is like, I think he's a psychiatrist. Like, I'm going to take these kids out and see if like having them bond in nature together will break them through their trauma. Like, he knows what their issues are, and he's like, this is the only way I can think of to like get them to like, you know, kind of come out of their shells.
Yeah,
and then Holly is there just to basically help because she believes in the cause, I guess. But they're banging.
They're so bad. So Chuck, I believe that is like what the movie wants you to think, but then he's doing his little captain's log, like as soon as they get there, and he's like, I'm not optimistic that these kids are gonna gel or anything good's gonna happen. Like, dude, you've been here for 5 minutes and you're already giving up on them?
Yeah, right out the gate. He just wants to go bang Holly. Like
I
he gives
guess
2 shits
This
about
is a
these
tax
kids.
write-off for this
Yeah.
dude. But yeah, so we get the 2 girls. One of them's his daughter, and the other one is what's her name? Melissa, Carrie, Chelsea.
Melissa's his daughter.
Melissa's the daughter. Kelly. Kelly's the one who we find out later on out of nowhere got raped. She's just being real quiet in the van, and then out of nowhere pulls up in a fucking BMW or like Mercedes type thing.
Red convertible, isn't it?
Red convertible, like high-end car is Rome. And his girlfriend, I don't remember the fuck her name, Blondie McGee,
I believe it's Dee Dee.
Dee. And she gets out and she's like, here, take my bags to Seth Green. And he's like, who am I, valet? And he's like, welcome to the club, bro. And but his backstory is, look, her dad said I couldn't date her. And I said, buy me a Mercedes and I'll leave. And he was like, done. Little did he know I was going to take her with me. And I was like, what the fuck is going on?
You know, in about 30 minutes, that thing is going to be up on blocks, missing its tires. He left that fucking convertible under the bridge.
He's under the bridge. I forgot
with
about
the
that.
top down.
What an idiot.
Yeah. Not that it would have mattered if the top was up, but at least it would have given the illusion of
Vagrant's
safety.
using that as a fancy toilet. That's all I got to say. So anyway, they go to the woods, and then we get like this beautiful like 5-minute montage of like stock footage of the woods in this van. And it's like, visit the beautiful mountains. Now, I didn't know if they went to a different place or they went to Northern California because they're in L.A.
According
So I
to
was
the
like,
back of the box, Northern California.
okay, that's a fucking trek, bro. That is a drive.
I don't think they got there in one day.
They acted like it was around the corner.
Yeah, they're because at one point they get a flat tire, right?
Yeah, they have a blowout and stop, and then we don't. Luckily, we don't have to watch the whole tire change.
That would have been
scene.
amazing.
No, because the next thing we do, we go to the local town of Northern California where they pull up and all those like tough young gentleman thugs on the porch, which I thought was going to be a point of contention, a story beat. No.
Yeah.
Just a bunch of teenagers hanging out, being rowdy on a porch. No, what we do instead is everyone's getting out of the car. Alfonso, we got to quit calling their names. Panic and Tyler go through everyone's bag and start stealing shit.
Well, it's just Panic. Tyler's just watching. He's like, "What are you doing, bro?" I don't know. You're gonna see. Look, he's got all these blue pills. Share the wealth, my man. And he just takes the whole bag. And then fucking Uncle Jesse, a.k.a. Rome, like never once asked where his freaking pills are throughout the whole movie.
Well, because he didn't need them yet.
What do you mean? They were there for like 2
those
days.
Are emergency steroids.
Oh, he's already he got juiced before he showed up.
Yeah.
His
He's
backup
still riding
steroid.
that juice.
All right, fair enough.
So yes, they basically steal like a bunch of stuff and
Condoms.
Yeah, and steroids, condom and steroids. It's all you need in life. So
there you go. So anyway, that happens, and then we get introduced inside to our local Jerry, who is your classic kind of hillbilly. I want to say Deliverance. No, you know what? I am going to say Deliverance because
Yeah.
it's a Deliverance scene later on in this movie.
Jerry's horrible.
he's the worst.
He's the worst. I called him horny redneck the whole time.
Yeah. Yeah.
Again, a scene in the 80s, 90s where these teens are being used as sexual objects for the characters in the movie. He's getting all horny behind the glass of the van.
Well, he's touching what's-her-face's hair, and she's like, I got to go. And he goes to the van and follows, and he's like, where you going, pretty boy? And then as he's leaving, his buddy goes, Jerry, behave yourself. And then he goes, I will. And then he whips his cat of nine tails. This is where we see that Jerry walks around with a cat of nine tails. And I was like, stop. Whatever's going on here, this is the movie.
That man needs to be locked up.
Bro, you got to stay strapped on these streets. So
The mean streets of Northern California, rural.
yeah, well, that's why he only brings his cat of nine tails.
Right. So these guys are marijuana growers. And one of the things I was actually going to bring up is like, I felt that this high stakes marijuana farmer thing was bullshit. I was like, it's not meth. It's not meth labby. It's not making crack cocaine.
Oh, they don't fuck around up there.
Is it serious?
It can get serious. There's some documentaries and shit on the Netflix about it.
Okay. I thought this was just more of that Nancy Reagan holdover from the 80s, don't do drugs, fucking, I felt that energy in the movie.
Oh, big time.
You know what I mean?
It was borderline reefer madness at times. So
Right,
yes.
I think they because the characters were so bumbling. I mean, I'm sure drug dealers are not, or drug growers maybe aren't the nicest people, but
I'm sure there can be some really nice ones too.
some of them, sure.
So were you guys under the impression, I was not, I thought there was 2 different weed operations happening in this movie. We had Horny Jerry and his, I don't even know.
Sir. You can call him Sir.
That's all his name is, right?
He's got his little comb and his coif.
I could not place what this character was supposed
I
to
thought
be.
it was a Southern gentleman.
Was he? That was in Northern California.
Excuse me, but I'm pardon to say that the weed is in full bloom.
Yeah, I say, these ticks are really messing me up.
That was another thing. We're not in like
Yes.
Kansas or wherever these type of characters would be. So I was like, wait a minute, what's happening here?
Oh, he rolled in like a Rolling Stone.
So we got Sir and Jerry's operation,
Yes.
and then Clint Howard's separate
That's
operation.
what I thought.
I thought that as well, yes.
I think that's what happens.
Okay.
In Northern California, that is a cash crop. There's a lot of people up there who grow. So I'm sure that everyone's got their own thing going on to some degree for those that dabble.
They call it weed country up there.
Big old poster at this gas station that said marijuana with an H is the assassin of youth. Holy shit.
I'm excited to get my high-def copy because I actually paused the screen to see if I could read the warning signs and the missing posters, and I was like, there's got to be some good information on this.
There's a lot of good stuff in there. Also, that copy you're getting is going to have 9 minutes of extra footage, and I really want to know what that is.
What?
Yeah, extended.
Marijuana rants. Just say no.
During all this, we are cutting back to Clint Howard's character who's working on his grow operation with his mouse trappy bullshit. And is this where he decides to step on a bear trap?
Well, this is where he decides that, because like any good illegal operation, you want to have protection. And he decides, I'm going to use bear traps around my property, which honestly is a real thing that happens. And, I get it. But at the same time, maybe don't do it inside your living room.
In the middle of his barn that he's working in, he sets the trap so
His shack, his palatial shack.
so he can step on it here in about 4 minutes. which he does, and I think he has on his leg for the rest of the movie.
Well, let's also take a moment to really drink in. Grab your straws, ladies and gentlemen. Let's drink in Clint Howard's character with his single eagle feather earring that he has, his Keith Flint from the Prodigy hair that he's got going on, his sleeveless ripped T-shirt, which is like got holes in it, but surprisingly clean. He has got like, I want to say puka shell necklaces, but he's got like the weirdest necklaces on, and he's listening to like the BBC.
It sounds like your classic 90s drug dealer.
It's fucking hilarious. And he's just like talking. He's like, we don't have 401ks. You know, we got to invest in ourselves. We don't have healthcare. Like, it's like the juxtaposition of like, oh no, shady like country weed grower. And then it's all like, the global economy.
And since you've brought up wardrobe, let's go ahead and mention Panic. Alfonso's character is wearing a fucking trench coat.
A duster.
A duster with like a backwards hat, sunglasses, and blue zigzaggy pants.
Love it.
Zubas. He's wearing Zubas.
Is that what those were?
Yeah, he's wearing Zubas.
I was like, holy smokes. This is 90s as fuck.
Yeah.
And then over, Seth Green's wearing like a camo jacket that could fit 3 other people in it.
Peak 90s. You
Yeah.
know, I miss, though, I wish that all our clothes were giant again. It looks so comfortable.
Well, it's coming back around,
I still
John.
wear baggy clothes, you guys.
Yeah.
The 90s fashion is coming back.
Yeah,
You're in luck.
Good. Finally.
Remember when we'd all wear T-shirts with button-ups and then not button the button-ups?
That was my go-to style,
Yeah.
dude. I was Mr. Unbutton Button-Up.
Yeah. Bring it back.
They call me Billy Unbutton.
So while Clint Howard's character is working in his barn, we saw that one of the pupa cocoons
Cocoons, yeah.
gets the drippings on it, the steroid, this green slime, and it starts to grow and pulsate.
I'm going to make a porno called Get the Drippings on It.
It's amazing how fast the drip works.
Oh, yeah.
It's steroids, baby.
Within
instant.
minutes.
90s would have us believe that steroids are the worst drug ever.
Yeah, you look at a steroid and that's it. Balls fall right off.
Feel pumped.
That cocoon pops open, and we got a tick the size of a tarantula that is now running around this grow operation.
Super tick.
And it runs across Clint Howard's foot. Now, I actually really thought the tick special effects work was pretty good.
Yes.
I enjoyed it.
I really want to know how they made him move.
Yeah.
Because I don't think there's a
They
lot
look
of...
like rubbery puppets, but they look articulated.
Yes, it was really well done.
So he gets spooked. He's like, what the fuck? And then he goes up to these pipes in his barn where the operation's happening, and he puts his face right up to the darkness. You know, like you do.
This happens in this movie so many damn times. People get their face right up next to the fucking cocoon or a dark place where a bug or thing just went into.
Terrible.
You deserve to
Yeah.
fucking be messed
Even
up.
if you don't know that you're in a horror movie,
No.
what are you doing? You can't. Getting closer to pitch darkness doesn't make you see any better.
Poke into the darkness with a stick and
Yeah.
see what happens.
Get a flashlight.
All those are better options
Yeah.
than sticking your face into the black abyss that has the creature in it. Okay? But that's what happens. Tick jumps out and like lands on some pipes right in front of his face, and Clint gets fucking spooked, wanders backwards, and steps.
Stumbles backwards.
Okay, fair enough. Stumbles backwards and steps right on that bear trap. Boom.
Ah, he's on the ground.
And we'll come back to him later.
That's Clint down.
Yeah.
Well, doesn't the tick fall on his face at this point?
Oh, right. Yes, there's a bunch
he
of
looks up and there's a bunch of
cocoons.
little like mini like cocoons above his head, and one falls down, and before it lands on his face, we cut to black.
Our group of teens have arrived at the campgrounds they're going to stay at, and they're all just kind of wandering about doing their own thing.
Picking out bunks, you find out that the girls and the boys have different cabins. I only saw one cabin the whole time,
Yeah.
but evidently they're in different locations because, safety first.
Tyler comes across a cocoon
Right
in a
there
closet.
in the closet. And this cocoon is huge.
And what is he? He's like, I better poke at this with a stick.
Oh, yes.
What?
Also, shout outs to the subtitles of this movie because when he pokes it and the stuff starts dripping, it goes ploop. It just says ploop in parentheses. And I was like, classic.
Just like the old Batman comics. Bloop, bamf.
Ridiculous.
This cocoon, though, is like what? What are we
Watermelon
talking?
size?
Yeah, like a small watermelon or a
Cantaloupe?
a cantaloupe.
Yeah.
And they're just like, ugh, gross, bro. Get it out of here. And that's the end of that.
Yeah.
They don't go, hey, Chuck. Hey, Holly. The fuck is this thing?
Have you ever seen anything like this in the world before?
No.
Yeah. So you'd think they would.
This isn't standards wood stuff.
They tell Tyler, this is your room with the ticks or whatever.
Do you notice how Tyler immediately becomes the bitch of the group?
Yeah, poor dude.
Everybody just starts dunking on him.
Look at Seth Green though. That's just the '90s, man. Standard 101.
Well, he messed up. He should have just punched Panic right in the face.
That's what you do. You find the biggest guy and you punch him in the face. It's like prison.
Yeah.
Also, real quick, we skipped over it, but at the gas station, there was a dude, I think it was Jerry, who was drinking his beer out of a brown paper sack. And I was like, if there's one place in America you don't need to drink a beer out of a brown paper sack in public, it's this place.
Yeah, you don't have to be nonchalant about it. I'm sure
so
that
hilarious to me.
everybody's drinking Miller Lite out in the open here, even the children.
The sheriff shooting up in his car. I mean, you
Yeah.
name it.
Especially the children.
So each of these cocoons actually going to contain more than one tick.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
We see like when the ploop happens and Seth Green pokes at it, multiple little larvae kind of pop out.
Scat-
Oh, I thought that was just chunks of goob.
No, those are separate ticks, man.
Oh, gross. That's
Yeah.
even worse.
It is worse.
Yeah.
It's like a spider sack, arachnid.
Oh,
you know,
yeah.
You know.
Still one of the scariest things in existence is watching a spider with all the little spider babies on its back. Ugh.
So
Fucking
Nature.
bugs, man. Shit, fuck this.
Let's torch nature.
fuck it.
Sorry, Canada.
We're working on it. Don't worry. So Tyler and Melissa go out in the woods, and this is where I got my first question of the movie. It's not my problem with the movie.
This is the place where you got the first question of the
I
movie.
was on board the whole time. But does Tyler have special powers? Because he's telling Melissa, I get a sense whenever something bad's about
He's
to
got
happen.
an arachnid sense, if
Yeah.
you will.
Yes.
A spidey sense. If you
Oh. And it seems like he does have some sort of spidey sense. So is he
no,
magical?
he's got a tick tingle.
Oh, a tick tingle, yes.
comes from that big tick energy.
That's right. I don't know, man. Maybe when he was hugging that tree as a child,
He got bit by a tick. They gave him little.
and now he goes out in the world in a giant blue suit and yells spoon at things.
All right, I love it. Sign me up. Yes, this is his origin story.
Oh, that's a reference to the tick comic.
Yeah.
It is.
Okay, my bad.
So they're talking, and it's really
They're talking in the woods.
Yeah, inconsequential conversation, but a tick latches onto Melissa's
Well, she
back.
keeps moving backwards more and more close to a tree, and then there's an egg,
Exact,
a
yeah.
caviar egg that's sitting there, and she kind of like slowly, and you're like, is it going to happen? Is it going to happen? And
This-
the whole time, Seth is just, or Tyler's just being like, I get weird, I black out, I want to faint, and I'm like, this is not going to be good for him.
And I got to be honest with you, their awareness is like zero because this is a giant sack on a tree that is pulsating with fucking. It wants to get out.
It's making
so
noise, it's
badly.
growling.
It's like, man, let me get that back, like right now. And you're just like, what is happening?
It's negative awareness.
Let me
Okay.
get that back.
Because when the tick gets on her, this giant tick must weigh at least a pound. She's like, there's nothing. What? You're just kidding. There's nothing on my back. And there's this tick just latched on like to her whole spine.
This tick is the size of a double meat burger.
Yes.
Okay, it's huge.
You would-
feel them mandibles go straight into your skin, and she's like, "Wait, I have something on my back. It is latched in."
Yeah.
and it's like you didn't feel that.
Yeah, because he gets a stick and he's trying to like knock it off, and she's like, "Ow, it hurts! What are you doing?" And it's like obviously he's knocking some bullshit off your back that's dug into your back, lady.
But I didn't feel the attack. But I
No.
feel you trying to pull it off now. Sure. Okay, movie.
So unaware, but still not my main problem with the movie.
So he does knock it off, but the stick is like latched in its mandible, and so it runs off with the stick. This is the goofiest little thing in the whole movie. This little tick runs off with a stick in its mouth.
Love it. Anytime the tick runs off with something,
Yes.
my heart melts.
Yeah,
Your heart melts.
Yeah, I'm like, oh, look at that little tick running
yeah, little
off.
beauty. Oh,
You like this more than tick with the syringe in its
No,
back.
I'm saying, like to John's point, anytime a tick had something on its body, I was in for it. It was so goofy and fun.
Dude, those people, we'll get there. But man, they must have actively been trying to not see the tick. It's a fucking syringe running around. Anyway.
And these cocoons are like gross green brown hanging off the trees.
They're like white compared to brown. You don't miss them.
They're everywhere.
Yeah.
Yes.
Everywhere in the every time we go to a new scene, the
Everywhere you look, everywhere.
there's a tick waiting to bite on you. But yes, every time we go to a new scene, it pans through the woods and just shows all the cocoons of the ticks everywhere.
Yeah.
How are they not seeing these things?
Magic, I guess.
Yeah.
So Melissa and Tyler
Tick blindness.
run back to the like their little camp area where
They're making burgers.
Yes, and they're like, "There's something in the woods. I don't know what it was. I was attacked." And the adults are just like, "Bullshit.
Yeah,
bugs don't attack you unless you attack them."
Chuck, right? Chuck
Yeah.
was a dead.
Chuck, yeah.
Chuck was all like, guys, seriously, you got to calm down. You're just being crazy. And it's like, you know, they have mental and emotional issues and you're all like, y'all are overreacting. You're being crazy. Calm down. It's like, what the fuck are you doing? You're again, I don't think he's licensed.
No, he's
No.
I
definitely
think
not.
Chuck has basically decided to take a vacation with random people's kids.
When he gets home from this
He's
trip,
going to be on a list.
he should be put in jail for gross negligence. Is what's going to happen.
Right, he's the real criminal in this movie.
Yeah, he's just like, y'all, it's just nature.
Yeah.
You're just out in nature.
They're mocking him. They're like, oh, did a bug get on you? And it's like, motherfucker.
Yeah.
Why didn't they show them her back? Those mandibles must have left a mark.
And look and go, Chuck, it was the size of a Whataburger, you asshole. That's not nature.
I don't think you want to use Whataburger as the point of measurement in California.
In-N-Out double meat,
Yeah.
animal style, okay? It was huge.
Should have just been like, look right over there. They're everywhere.
You're eating a tick.
But Tyler correctly goes, once again, the adults aren't believing the kids. And I was like, well, at least they put that in the movie
Yes.
because this is stupid.
So then Sir and Jerry walk up and they're like, howdy. Well, you guys might want to be careful around here because, people be making the marijuana and we don't want y'all to get in trouble. Some people out there real crazy. And Jerry's just like eyeballing Melissa still, just like, daddy wants a drink. And it's like, oh, God, dude, you're so fucking weird.
Creepy.
Whipping his little fucking cat and nine tail
tails.
thing. And it's like, bro, put it away.
That's his move, man.
Maybe he's knocking away ticks with it. I don't know.
That's how he flirts.
But basically they're like, okay, you can go now. And he's like, y'all have a nice evening and I'll be careful out there. And then they walk away.
Weird scene.
They're just to let you know that there's like weird, like weed growing operations and bad shit can happen. I think that they were sizing them up like, we're going to rob these motherfuckers.
I could see that.
Definitely a possibility for sure. We cut back to Clint Howard, who wakes up, and I thought he died.
I did too.
But he's still around, but now he's got ticks inside of his leg. Like it does that little effect where you can see the bulge from under the skin running around, and he's got a gun, and he's shooting at his own leg.
Oh, God, when he shoots himself in the leg, he's just like, it's in me. Pow, pow, pow. It's like that. So I started blasting. I was
Yeah.
like, what are you doing, man?
How do you miss that lump? If you're going to shoot yourself in the leg, make sure you hit the target.
Or just why shoot yourself?
I guess he's freaking out,
Yeah.
right? I mean, he
Or
just...
put the barrel right up to the lump and then blow it away.
Better idea, though, yes.
Yeah.
But, it's hard to think when you got a bear trap on your leg and some sort of creature crawling up you.
And it's on like in his face or some shit now at this point, right?
Yeah.
Is his face all buggy?
I think it's getting there.
I don't remember what he looks like, but he looks all fucked up.
Yeah, he's getting messed up. Multiple ticks in him or on him is going on right now.
Is this
Yeah.
the end of poor Clint?
Oh, wait, I think this is where they fall on his face. I think earlier they didn't fall on his face. I think he just like passed out or whatever, right?
Could be. Tough to remember.
Anyway, so basically he disappears after this point. We don't really see much of Clint Howard's character anymore. We think he died from the self-inflicted gunshot wound.
Right.
He gets ticked.
We cut back to our campers in a comedy of errors type scenario. Holly and Chuck have gone to bed at like 7 o'clock, bone zoning it, while all the kids are wandering around camp unattended.
Trying to start a
away,
fire.
feet away from the building itself.
Outside of the window, literally.
And so this fire is huge, and he sees it, and he's like, "What are those stupid kids doing? You're so dumb!" And he's like throwing dirt on it. It's like, why were you not supervising
Because
them?
Rome gets gasoline from the van, siphons gasoline out of the van and dumps it onto the fire. And then Tyler's like, no, wait, that's too much. Whoosh. And the fireball that comes through the window when those two were in bed would have burned down the cabin.
Tremendous. And so he's all upset, right? Kind of rightfully so, but also not really, because
It's his
you should have
fault.
done this. Yeah, you took these kids from an urban environment into the woods, and they're like, "Good luck."
Well, he says we're in a burn ban. It's like everything's super flammable. You could have burned this whole fucking place down. So that's why he's
Did he
angry.
tell any of that?
No. Well, he is like, there were signs. Didn't you see them? And they're like, nope. And he's like, you dumb son of a bitches. And it's like, God, dude.
He is so angry from getting cock blocked
Yeah.
by these idiots is what's happening.
Well, they're like, well, where were you? And then like Melissa, the daughter, goes like, what, were you upstairs trying to fuck Holly? And then Holly's like, yeah. And looks at the ground like, shucks, they're on to us.
That's
and then
exactly
he
what
wanders off. Chuck's like, I don't have time for this.
Yeah, it's like, you should. What else are you gonna go do?
We forgot to mention that Panic brought his dog with him.
Oh,
So now we're going to get a POV camera scene. We get tick vision. What Garrett, did you like tick vision?
capitals, 2 exclamation point, tick vision.
What? Oh, you wrote it
On
down?
my notes. I
Nice.
was so happy.
I honestly didn't mind when it's small things like this. You're going to have to kind of have some arachnid, small bug vision. Again, I'm not always a fan of monster vision, but I thought it was okay in this. It was pretty limited at first. It got pretty bad at the end, but...
Yeah, I think it worked well enough in this
It's
movie.
fine, yeah.
The problem is sometimes the camera angles were way higher than a tick should have been. And so I was like, am I in tick vision? Am I in Jerry vision? Like, where am I at?
Panic is not watching his dog. His dog is off on its own somewhere in the woods and gets attacked by
He's
the
from
ticks.
the mean streets of L.A. He can handle himself in the woods.
But the way this guy loses his shit over his animal, he should have been supervising that dog.
Yeah, don't leave your dog to just wander in the woods. There's so many bad things that could happen.
Also, most dogs don't really just wander off by themselves for hours. They're kind of like, I'm going to go back and hang out with my human.
Yeah, they usually want to hang
That's
out
been
with
my
you.
experience, yeah.
Agreed. Most
Yeah.
dogs are like that. This one's off in the woods and he gets attacked by the ticks.
That was too much. I hated this
This
whole part.
movie kills animals.
Like, and you watch it, it's like have a little seizure. I hated all of this. I was like, oh, I wish I could fast forward this.
So the dog's body gets infested with ticks and it's shaking on the ground when Panic and Tyler come across it and they find the dog. What's great about this scene is you can tell the dog is actually alive and is just playing dead, and there's someone behind the dog shaking the dog. Because you can see the dog's eyes open. He's like, I'm just doing what I'm told.
Yeah.
But they freak out in movie. They're like, holy shit, my dog is dead. He's like, go get help, Tyler. And Tyler runs off and gets Chuck.
Alfonso Ribeiro is walking back with this dog like a someone carrying their buddy out of Vietnam.
Dude, yeah, I was like, is this from Platoon? What's happening here?
Like, I would have loved it if Alfonso falls to his knees like,
Yes.
And the dog's name is Brutus, and Panic just keeps going, Brutus. Oh, Brutus. I can't
E2
believe-"
Brutus.
Well, then he pulls a fucking knife on Tyler, and he's like, look, man, I'm sorry. Sometimes things happen. He's like, you think something happens? And it's like, yo, now you're threatening him with knife point?
And Tyler's just trying to calm him down.
Yeah. So
How did y'all feel about Seth Green being our like main have it all together character?
I mean, up until the very end with the swing, I feel like he just sort of plods along, so he didn't really bother me.
He's not the heroic type until the very end.
Yeah.
So
And even then, it just felt kind of like, well, if no one else is going to do it, I was like, oh boy.
So they call the sheriff when the dog dies, and they're like, what the fuck? And the sheriff's like, I don't know, take him to the vet. And then he goes, yo, someone's missing. We haven't seen him.
Yeah.
I was like, Chuck, calm down, bro. You seemed very guilty right there. But the sheriff's like, oh, okay.
But they're talking about Clint Howard. Oh. They're like, we've been missing this guy and didn't come home last night.
And that's
You know?
Clint. I didn't put two and two together because I'm not
Didn't
smart.
come home last night. That man lives in that shack. I would put money down on it.
I believe you.
Who reported him missing?
His brother Ron. Ron Howard. Actually, the sheriff's played by Howard too. It might be another Howard.
2 for 1 Howards.
But the best part is when they go, Sheriff, you want something to eat? And he's like, yeah. Comes over and looks and see what Holly's cooking. What Holly's cooking it can't be classified as food.
I don't know.
It is fucking crimes against humanity. It's fucking burnt hamburger buns covered in some sort of Crisco or mayonnaise. And it's like, and he's like,
Yeah. I'm fixing to leave, so.
and then they go to the vet to
Yes.
figure out what's going on with the dog.
Yes.
Because they're like, well, we'll take the dog to the vet tomorrow and see what happens. I'm glad this town has a vet. But they take the dog into the vet, and Dr. Good and Plenty is going to basically, I guess, do tests, and she sticks a syringe in the dog to pull blood out, and then the tick
I love
sucks
this.
the blood back out of the fucking syringe back into the dog's body. They play back and forth.
I love this scene. This is a great fucking
I
scene.
laughed
So good.
so hard. I was just like, what the heck? She pulls it again. It's like, and I was like, if there was a little slurpy like sound afterwards, I'd love that.
So just to give you an idea, there's a giant hole in the bottom of this dog. It is covered in green slime when they find it. And they're like, we should take it to the vet to find out what exactly happened.
I think she goes, it's not a snake bite. I was like, no shit.
No fucking duh. Also, there's no blood in the body of the dog. She can't find any. She keeps puncturing and looking for blood. She's like, this is weird.
Yeah.
It's tug of war.
Yeah,
It's basically, she's like trying to pull blood out, but she's actually in the tick itself. Which, again, this doesn't make sense, like, science-wise, but it was such a visually fun scene. And so, like, as they're doing this, she's like, what the fudge? And then out of the fucking body pops the tick with the syringe stuck in its back.
It's very face hugger looking in this particular scene.
Yeah. Or does she pull it out with the...
She pulls it
That's
out.
right. She pulls it out with the tongs.
Yeah, and then it's like clock, 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 and it startles her, and she drops it, and then they're like, lock down the lab.
I
we
will not
can't-
fault anyone for that.
No,
if
definitely
a bug
not.
looks dead and it starts moving, I'm not going to fault you for dropping the shit
Especially
out of that.
some giant, previously unknown bug. So she's like, lock down the lab. We can't let
And
it
they
leave.
cover the little slats under the door so it can't escape. So it's in the room. Now, this is the the thing that kind of like got me, because earlier in the thing, Seth Green's character and Panic had this little talk about like, oh, that's a tick, because the one was found on the dog, and he's like, they can't be squished. They're so hard to, they're so invulnerable. They can't be squished, and yada 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 yada. And you're like, oh, okay. I thought that was going to be the crux of the whole movie of like, because of this, we have to use fire. And no, this thing runs around the office. They're doing the whole like face hugger, like where is it in the facility type thing.
So stupid though. It's almost comical. It's got to be intentional, because it'd be like, the one character walks in front of the camera and then the tick like scurries right behind them.
This was played. I think this movie knew what it was.
Yeah, it had.
I think
to be
this movie
intentional.
definitely was like, we're gonna have some fun. We're gonna have some creepy stuff, but then we're gonna have a little bit of like, kind of like haha moments too.
I mean, having Tyler down on all fours look for this tick, like it's another scene where it's just going to jump right in your face.
Get up on a table and survey the thing from the air.
But what do? They actually get the tick and just like step on it?
It runs across and then squish.
And then
Chuck steps on it.
The vet.
Oh, no, the vet does. And she goes, when in doubt, stomp or squish.
Squish. It was like, the vet has a one-liner. All right, calm down there,
I know.
Sylvester.
I also wrote that down too. I was just like, wow, even the vet's got a one-liner.
But then the vet says something that was very strange. She says it appears to be covered in some sort of herbal stimulant that makes things grow faster. And I know that some of the locals have been using it in their crops, but that stays between you and me.
Yeah.
And I'm like, wait a minute. Is she threatening them?
Yes. She's basically saying what happens in Vegas stays in Vegas.
So is the vet in on the grow business?
everyone up there-
You can't not know about the grow business if you up in Northern California.
She's on the take?
I don't know if she's on the take. I think she's just like, yo, we don't fuck her. You don't say shit. All right.
But I think when you have a mutated killer tick on the loose, it's time to let the authorities know what's going on.
Well,
Maybe the sheriff's on the take.
That's probably...
Well, they only have one cop in the whole region.
Yes.
So
and it's Sheriff Deputy Dewey. That guy is like, he's just like, yeah, I'll eat some of your garbage food. Let's go.
So before they go to the vet, Panic actually tells Tyler, he's like, you know what? I'm fucking out of here. I am not going to stay in the woods. I'm going to hitchhike back to the city. And it's like, really, bro?
that's his plan. Well, he also gave a very emotional speech. He goes, I thought I would die by a drive-by, but my dog would be okay.
I would have loved if we cut to fucking Brutus in a car with an AK just mowing down dudes like, brrr, and just like, yo.
It wouldn't be that far out of character for the movie if that did happen.
It's like a scene from Boys in the Hood. It's all like, Brutus, no, it's on the front line. South Central, man.
So Tyler and Chuck are coming back from the vet, and they pass Panic, who sees them off in the distance. He's like, they didn't really look that hard for me, man.
It's like, if you want to be found, dude, just go get him.
Yeah.
Also, how are you going to hitchhike from the woods? But anyway.
Yeah, he wasn't even near the road.
Yeah.
So at the same time as the vet stuff is when we're getting the shit with Kelly going fishing.
Yes. So while they're at the vet, yeah.
This scene intersplices between the vet scene, and we get basically Holly going like, Kelly, would you like to go fishing? And Kelly's like catatonic mute, and she's like, would you like to go fishing and have fun? And then Kelly's like, yeah, I would actually. And you're like, okay, sweet. And she's like, Melissa, do you want to take Kelly fishing? She's like, nope. And she's like, why don't you take Kelly fishing? And like, why don't you and Rome and Dee Dee go with them? And Rome and Dee Dee are sunbathing in their like bathing suits, and they're just like, nah, we're good. We gotta stay out of the sun. Nah, we're cool here. So it's just Melissa and Kelly. And she's like, there's a pond over there that you guys can go fish in.
This quote unquote pond.
Now, as they're walking to the pond, Kelly goes like, I think it's this way. And she's like, oh, I didn't think you'd talk. And she's like, yeah, well, I was raped and blah, blah, blah. And it's like, whoa, out of fucking nowhere, Kelly just like unloads her entire history on this shit. And Melissa's like, oh, that makes sense. I think the pond's right here.
And then we're done.
Yeah.
That's that. Wrapped up, put it away. Now she's going to talk the rest of the movie.
She's
You
the
can't
only one
shut
they
her up.
healed.
Yes.
Yeah.
She just needed to tell one person
That's
about
it.
her trauma.
Now, did you notice, though, they go to this disgusting scum-infested pond through reeds and everything else, and they're like, I think this is it. Then we cut back to Rome and Dee Dee, who get up off their rock, and they're like, let's go have some fun. And they run, and there is a huge, serene, beautiful lake right behind them. I was like, why the fuck did Holly tell him to go to the shit pond when there is a beautiful lake 14 feet away from where the cabin is?
Can't fish in that lake. That's a swimming lake.
Or maybe they got lost and went the wrong way and found some fucking cesspool.
You could see the fucking lake. The lake is huge, and you could see it from the car. Like, there's no way you could have not known the lake was right there. But yeah, they go for the little like shitty fishing hole, which any fish you pull out of there is going to be contaminated.
It's going to be the three-eye fish from The Simpsons.
This this little cesspool pond is covered in pond scum, is got just weeds and shrubs just overgrown over this thing. This is where diseases live.
This is where cabin fever starts.
This is where this stuff is birthed. And they are fucking, she walks in it barefoot. She could go get the fish.
Because the rod gets stuck or something like that. She's like, go get it. She's like, okay. And she walks in to get it. And the hook is connected to a dead guy, which I thought was Clint Howard's character at first.
Yes. I was like, oh, he got drowned in this cesspool.
And then I thought maybe it was Sir or something. I went through a whole range of like, who could this be? And it was actually the sheriff.
Which makes no rhyme or reason, but I guess like he went to go talk to the
Sir and Jerry.
And they just kill him.
Yeah, they kill him.
Yeah.
Why?
Because it's Northern California, baby. You don't fuck around.
Also, I mean, I have a lot of questions about this. Like, how did the cabin, which is apparently 100 yards away, not hear this high-power rifle? Oh, you know what?
No, they
do
did.
hear.
They heard,
right.
And
he
heard
goes,
Clint Howard
just like
shooting
home.
at his leg, and they're like, "What? The locals are going crazy tonight."
Yeah. Okay. Never mind. I withdraw. That's only one problem with this movie.
Also, Chuck, shout out to you, my dude, taking kids out to a place and hearing a bunch of gunshots and be like, "Yeah, we're good."
Yeah,
I would have
it's
taken the kids back to town.
It's just like being in the inner city. No different.
The worst camp counselor on earth.
That's where Brutus dies in a drive-by. So anyway, Kelly and Melissa are like, "Oh my god!" and they like fall backwards into the cop car, which is covered in like grass. Someone's trying to hide it. They run back to camp. As they're running back, Rome and Dee Dee end up getting lost and stumbling into Clint Howard's like grow shack. Yeah, and they end up stumbling across his body. She puts her face right up next to a tick like egg. It jumps out onto her face, bites her. She starts hallucinating because of it.
But you did zoom right past Clint Howard's great performance in the shed.
Yes, I did.
So
because I don't think it's a great performance.
It's
the
amazing.
best in the movie.
Oh, you guys are so wrong.
Best scene in the movie. So Dee Dee's wandering around the shack, and like we said before, these little cocoons are like just clawing. They want to get at her so badly because I guess they can see through the cocoon or they smell the blood or something.
Electromagnetics.
They just know that there's prey outside of their cocoon. And she turns around, and Clint Howard is like stumbling at her with a pistol going,
Help me! Please! I can't see him! Help me! Here, take the gun!
she freaks out and trips and falls over, and he trips over something,
Yeah.
falls right into her face. They're face to face laying on the ground. He's like,
I'm infested! Shoot me! Shoot me!
I'm infested.
Yeah,
And his
amazing.
cheek is-
Mark, your performance is great. You had the facial expression and everything.
His cheek is pulsating, and it just bursts like a tomato, and then a flash of red, and Dee Dee's got a tick on her neck. And
It shoots out, like it cannons out into her neck.
it's amazing what these ticks can do.
They're very super animals.
Yeah.
And so as Seth Green and as Tyler and Chuck are driving back, they run into Dee Dee and Rome, and Rome's like, I don't know what's wrong with her. She's freaking the fuck out. They put her in the van. They're like, let's go back to the camp. Let's get everybody. We'll call a doctor. Kelly and Melissa are running back to camp to talk to Holly, and they're like, oh my God, Holly, blah, blah, blah. Now we cut to Panic, who's in the woods, who's like, fuck it, I'm still going to get out of here. He didn't stick to the roads.
Yeah, it's nighttime now too, so he did not travel very far.
It's daytime, or he wakes up or something like that. I don't remember exactly what time of day it is, but like basically, yes, he's wandering around, and as he's wandering around, he
stumbles into the weed farm.
Yeah, gets stopped by Jerry and Sir, and they're like, "What are you doing?" And they're like, "We're gonna make you squeal, boy!" And it becomes Deliverance in like 2 seconds. They are like gonna basically like full on Deliverance, Alfonso Ribeiro's character, but he kicks him in the nuts or something like that, and Jerry falls over laughing like, "Woo, it's a good time." They end up chasing him. He gets shot in the leg or something like that, or
He gets shot in the stomach.
Stomach.
he's already got a tick on him. Remember, he's
Yeah.
got a tick on him at this point.
So the vet also revealed that when the ticks bite you, you start hallucinating.
Yes.
Because there's some sort of neurotoxin.
Yes.
We're going to see these people hallucinate, and Panic is now all of a sudden he thinks he's down in some alleyway with bum trash cans, and he gets in a fight or something like
They
that.
kind of dropped this premise pretty early on. Dee Dee has an hallucination that she's seeing Clint Howard's character in the van.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Jerry has has an hallucination that's key to the whole thing,
Oh,
too.
that's right. Later on, you're right.
Yeah.
Okay, so they do kind of keep it going. It's just not super prominent.
No, it's only when the plot needs it to be. But Panic gets shot at the end. And they also shoot some propane cans that they conveniently just leave out in the field near.
Well, those were a trap. Those were a trap. He trips over a tripwire, which basically starts a little like alarm, like wah, wah, wah.
that fucking alarm.
Yeah. It's the alarm at the Nickelodeon geyser every time it would shoot off into Orlando Studios.
It's also the iPhone alarm, so it was very confusing.
But you're looking at your phone.
Yes, I was like, what is... I don't have an alarm. But anyway.
But yeah, so he's on the ground and he's all like, oh man. So Jerry and Sir supposedly get taken out, like, like stopped by the propane, like, gas explosion booby trap. And Alfonso Ribeiro or Panic is like, I can't die out here. So he fucking pulls out that bag of steroids, chugs a bunch of them, and just Popeyes it up.
That's what I wrote in my notes. I was like, did he just take steroids like Popeye spinach?
Yeah, it's exactly what happens. He Popeye spinaches up some roids and then basically like, I'll get back to camp. And then we cut back to camp. That's the last we see of either one of those for a while. Now, at this point, the ticks are coming out to play.
Yeah, we see
the
like...
forest is on fire.
And all the ticks are running like
Yeah, 'cause
rats
the
from a
propane
sinking
tank
ship.
start a fire.
Right.
Yeah.
Fireball goes off. Woods are on fire, pushing all the ticks to our cabin.
Oh, we're at the back of the box part.
Yes, we made it. It was a long journey.
So then they all meet up at the cabin and they're like, okay, trying to understand what happens. Meanwhile, Jerry and Sir come and start banging at the door.
So yeah, they barricade and hide themselves inside, and they're like, "Oh my god, what's going on with Dee Dee?" They're like, "I don't know. Lock the doors. Some crazy shit's going on. We got to get the fuck out of here." And they're like, "Well, where's Panic?" And then that's when Seth Green's like, "Oh, he's gone. He bailed. I'm so sorry." And you're like, "Well, fuck it. We got to get out of here anyway."
Like, we got a van. We'll all get to the van. And
that's where Sir and Jerry, then they knock on the door and they're like, "Well, don't let him in." And they're like, "We're going to let him in."
Idiots. So stupid.
And they are covered in ticks.
Yes. And it was like, dude, this is alien to the T. They got the face hugger person and they're breaching quarantine.
Jerry's got him on his mouth.
Yes, dude. Why? What the fuck?
And so they let him inside, which was a mistake, and they start ripping him off and dropping him to the floor and stomping on him. So they're killing the ticks. So the threat inside the house has quote unquote been neutralized. Except they go, "What's wrong with her?" And they're like, "I don't know. She was bit by a tick." And they're just like, "What?"
And we get to see Clint Howard one more time go, "I'm infested."
Yes, because she's hallucinating.
Loved it. Then Panic comes back and he starts banging at the door. And naturally, Jerry and Sarah are like, "Don't let him in." And of course, they're like, "Come on in, Panic."
Seth Green's like, "Fuck that. That's my friend. I'm going to open the door." And he does. He lets him in. Did you write down the line that Holly says? And she's like, "Oh my God, Daryl, Melissa, go get something."
Oh, they're obsessed with this first aid kit. It comes up.
But she says, "Go get something." And I was like, what? What do you need in this situation?
Her training pamphlet did not cover what to do with steroided up gunshot victims.
Well, when Jerry pulls the ticks off his face and stuff, he's like, "I need first aid." And she's like, "I'm on it." And it's like, no, I don't think the Hippocratic Oath applies here.
No.
I think you're safe if you don't like defend Jerry, aka the weirdo pedophile.
Fucking Jerry.
Panic's laying on the ground dying, and then he points and says something that's basically inaudible.
Yeah.
He's like, and they're like,
If the subtitles in this movie, it has a lot of inaudible. Like, you can hear what they're saying exactly, but it's all like, "Quick, give me the inaudible." And it's like, "Give me the first aid kit." But because another character's talking, they just like gave up and they're like, "Fuck it."
yeah. So we can't even make out exactly what he's saying, but you know what he's doing. He's pointing at the country redneck guys and going, "They shot me in the stomach." But
shooters.
there's no way that these characters would have gotten that out of that, except for finally they go, "There's a bullet hole in his belly. It must have been you guys."
Yeah, he goes, "Ticks don't use guns." Oh shit, Tyler,
did they
you
say
cracked
that?
the code. Yeah.
Oh my God. Okay. I missed that line. That would have made it so worth everything.
It was
Ticks don't use guns. That's where you're wrong.
So they shoot Chuck in the leg.
Yeah, just like out of bullshitness.
Yeah. Well, he starts chasing the kids, right?
Well,
Sir
Chuck
and Jerry?
goes to stop Jerry and Sir, and
Yeah.
they shoot him as he rushes towards them. That's when Tyler basically grabs like an oar or something and hits one of them in the back of the head, knocks one of them down. I can't remember what happens. There's a tussle.
Yeah, it gets really ridiculous. One, where the fuck did that shotgun even come from? It looks like he pulled it out of thin air, like in a video game. So Sir just sort of turns around, comes back, and there's like a shotgun. It's like, dude, what?
He had it in a holster on his back.
Yeah,
I guess.
it's ridiculous. And then
He has a
also,
little knife comb the whole time. And I thought that was the extent of his thing. I was like, a cat of nine tails and a knife stiletto.
Yeah.
I was like, wow, tough nuts.
He's also packing a revolver later.
Also, where did that come from? Yeah.
From in his duster.
Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Think deep.
Oh, when Chuck got shot, I wrote, "Not Chuck." Just kidding. Don't care that he was shot.
So that brings up a point that is one of the things that I wish the movie had done differently. Is they set up all these dumb characters I don't like, and only one of them dies. And
black
it's
one.
the black guy. Mm-hmm. Why didn't the rest of them get killed? This movie should have started picking these characters off.
Yeah,
Dee Dee dies, doesn't she?
Nobody
No.
else dies, dude. Everybody else, other than Jerry and Sir and the sheriff. But our main protagonists all make it away, except for Alfonso Ribeiro.
Yeah, Rome and Dee Dee are like
The worst characters in the movie.
They're cannon fodder.
I don't know. I don't think Roman and Didi are the worst characters in the movie.
Who's the worst?
Sir and Jerry.
Out of our protagonists.
Oh, Chuck and Holly.
Oh yeah, they are
Sure,
the worst.
they suck.
Yeah, Chuck also good. He probably should have died as well. There's so much.
I
cannon
thought Chuck
fodder.
should have sacrificed himself for these kids to show them, like I do care about you. You guys can be okay. I believe in you.
He got shot in the leg. When it rains, it's gonna hurt now. So he'll remember.
So I think this movie would have elevated a little higher for me if there had been more death scenes of these characters. We could have had some more interesting
Or if
kills.
Holly died, Chuck could have been like, oh my God, it's real for me now, because
Right.
he doesn't seem to get two shits about these kids.
Yeah.
Not even his daughter.
Yeah, I feel like he would have thrown any one of those kids to the ticks to save Holly.
He would have traded them to Jerry and Sir in a heartbeat.
Right. So I don't know if you've gotten to your one problem with
Not
the movie.
yet,
Yeah,
it's
but
coming.
that's
Wow,
mine.
still we haven't gotten there.
That's my problem with the movie. I want to see more kills.
Okay, well I thought we got enough like pretty gruesome. Who's the character that got their neck cut open? Oh wait, that's a different movie. That was Devil Row. Never mind.
I don't
Devil Row.
remember that.
Never mind. I watched a lot of horror movies this week.
So
Well, the ticks are getting blown up at this point. They're like getting fired, punched them, and they're exploding on people. And I was like, this is a real tick bukkake. This is just gross in this
It
house.
is a lot of bloody gore getting splattered around. And these ticks, on contact, immediate contact with open flame, pop.
blow up.
They flip upside down pop.
It's ridiculously silly.
Oh, we also didn't say why Chuck rushed Jerry. It's because he punched Melissa in the face. Because Jerry goes, get off me. No, Sir goes, get off me. Pow. Socks her right in the face. And then Chuck goes, no, my daughter. I don't know why I ever became Southern. So anyway, like he rushed. That's when he gets shot in the leg.
This movie has a lot going on in the last 5 minutes.
Dude, it's so
a lot going
ridiculous.
on all the time.
I basically summed it up in my notes with bad guys are being bad, shocker, because I could not keep track. I know eventually Sir sends Jerry out to the van and says, go get the van, pull it up. And
Jerry doesn't want to go. He's like, nah, man, send anybody else but me. He's like, go get the van.
He's like, that's Sir. He's like, I mean, no, Sir. And he's like, you will do what you were told to do. Do you understand me, Jerry?
Jerry mopes and goes, and he gets in the car.
No, he doesn't. He gets threatened at gunpoint. He's like, you will go out there or I will shoot you cold dead. And he was just like, all right, gotta go.
Yeah, between those options, I think I might rather get shot.
So he takes his like little torch and his cat of nine tails and he's whipping the buzz like,
Which,
like the sound effects are wild on this scene.
you just said that a character is whipping ticks.
Yeah.
Are you serious, movie?
No.
But it's working. They are splattering with his whip hits. It's like, okay, fine, whatever. You're doing whatever you want to do. I'm along for this tick ride.
You use what you got, man.
Yeah.
He gets in
You bought a ticket. You're on for this ride.
a tick it.
That was the joke.
Oh, okay.
That was the joke, John.
Okay.
John,
Sometimes I'm slow.
what's your one problem with this movie? No.
We're getting there. We're so close.
So Jerry hops in the van. He doesn't roll up the window. He's
Dumb.
like, dude, these ticks are everywhere. It's
Well, the windows were down the
hundreds.
whole time.
I know. So he like brushes them off, picks more off his face and body. He gets one right in the back of the neck.
Well, because he gets in the van and the window was down when he got to the van, which means like if you think that there aren't ticks in this van already, like you're an idiot.
Inspect the van, bro.
Yes.
inspect the van, roll up the window so no more get in.
Good point. Good
You
point.
know, but he doesn't do that. And one sinks him right in the back of his neck. I guess getting him right in the spine. That neurotoxin starts working.
Perennial gland.
Right in the medulla oblongata. He starts hallucinating the dead sheriff over Sir's body. And he's like, I thought you were dead. And he just revs that van and slams it right through the cabin, taking out Sir. But Sir's not dead.
I love this because Sir's like, what are you doing, Jerry? Pa-pow, pa-pow, pa-pow. And like, bro, guess what? Stop pulling the trigger and move 2 feet to the left.
Yes.
Like you could have just completely just sidestepped this van, but no, he gets hit by the van and knocked through the wall.
The Prometheus problem 20 years earlier. Just step aside.
No, but Sarah's like a superhero basically at this point because he takes a licking and
You
keeps on
watch
ticking.
him fly to the other side of the cabin
And
when
hit the
that
wall,
impact hits. But he gets up and he's like, I'm still a bad man. And you're like, oh God, he's still here.
Doesn't even faze him, man.
No, not at all. No broken bones, nothing. He's now got his pistol out. At the same time, Panic's carcass starts shaking violently.
They decide to go with a strobe light effect and a very intense strobe light effect for the rest of this movie. If you have photosensitivity, stop watching the movie at this point. It was like, I don't have that at all, but I was sitting there watching it going like, okay, enough is enough. It was so blatantly like ridiculous.
You're right. The effects are pretty intense at this point. All the shaking going on with Panic's carcass, like it's going up the walls, down the walls, shaking around and around, and then all of a sudden these fucking legs just pop out of his knees, and you're like, oh my God.
It's a double roided.
When you say his carcass starts going up and down, it's being like walked across the floor super fast, and I'm like, how?
It's impossible.
How is this happening? It's like scuttling across the floor, but nothing's come out of him. But anyway, yes, he starts to have legs protrude from his body.
We're now going to birth the king daddy tick of all fucking ticks that's been roided up on those blue pills that Panic took.
The roommate was like, wait a minute, what? I was like, because of the roids. She's like, oh.
Yeah.
Yes, because this makes sense.
More roids equals bigger ticks.
Yep.
We get to see a body double effect of Alfonso Ribeiro split in half from the face. And we birth probably a yak-sized tick. This thing is huge. And I'm like, how?
How's it fit in him?
And it grew like in record time.
That's how ticks do
It's
it.
tucked up real tight, guys.
You're right. It just unfeathered a little bit.
Unfurled.
Its wingspan is that of a yak.
Oh, imagine if ticks could fly
fuck
roided
that.
ticks.
Oh, God. End
That's
of the
Ticks
world.
3.
Ticks on wings.
That's some Revelation style shit. Ain't no Bible in times crap.
But yeah, so they're like, everybody upstairs. So they go upstairs. And now they're like, how do we get out of here? How do we get to the van? And then Seth Green's like, hey, look, there's a tire swing on that tree. If we could only get that tire swing, I would use the swing to swing to the van. And
Well,
then I
Rome
get the van.
says he's going to do it, but Seth's like, stand aside. Let a real man handle
Yeah, 'cause
this.
he's like, no, not because, no, he doesn't say that. He says, I'm freaking the fuck out and I've got to get
Yeah.
out of this house. My panic is going nuts. I need to leave first. It's not even a heroic thing. It's I will die if I sit here. And it was like, so you shut the fuck up and let me go first.
I've already shit myself 3 times, okay?
Oh, wait, you thought this was a selfless act. No.
That's the way it's played initially until he opens his mouth and then it's like, no, I've got to go first. Me, I'm terrified. I was like, whoa. But anyway, yeah, so
He swings out on that tire.
No. They're like, well, how do we get it? And that's when Kelly goes, I know how.
Yes.
I know how to fish. So she grabs a fishing pole,
So fucking dumb when you say
catches
it.
the swing.
When you say this out loud, it's so fucking dumb. She uses a fucking lure and a fucking reel and fishes and catches the tire and reels in the tire. You're like, not gonna happen.
Saved by fishing, man.
So they pull it up. Seth Green loads himself onto the tire, swings it out, and that sucker snaps immediately and he falls right onto the ground.
As it would.
Yeah. And he even tells somebody, he's like, this just has to miraculously work. I don't think it will. And it doesn't. And then he's got to fight a bunch of ticks off.
They're like, here, take this broom, light it on fire, you have a torch. And he's like, aha.
Now, this is your classic straw broom. Mm-hmm. If that thing is lit on fire, I'm pretty sure it's going to whoosh out in a matter of seconds.
Yeah.
Correct?
Definitely.
This thing is going to last the rest of the movie.
You got maybe 2 minutes.
This thing's lasting plenty of time.
Yeah, 20,
No problem.
30. It would go all day.
So he's in the van with that broom torch.
Yep.
Sweeping away, popping, bam, bam. When I say these things pop on immediate contact, there's nothing that has reacted so fast to any type of flame in existence. Popcorn lasts longer in a microwave.
I love the ones where he doesn't even actually touch them. He just kind of gets like, he just waves it by them like pop, 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 pop. It's just like, nice.
This pestilence is going to be put out real easy.
Pretty quick, yeah.
You know.
Just do a couple jumping jacks, heat yourself up. Anything that touches you, pop.
So he drives the van a little bit closer.
Yeah, he drives it up to the door. So he's got the side of the van lined up with the front door. So, or like right below the window. And so they're going to jump out this window on top of the van and then climb inside.
And meanwhile, Super Tick coming through the door, dude. It's just bashing everything down. They're on a time. They're on a timer now.
Mm-hmm.
A ticking clock, if you will. Wow. Movies.
We're so good at this today.
Best.
And so, yeah, so everyone gets out into the van except for Rome. And then Rome is like trying to like get out and he gets caught by the tick. And he's like, oh my God, somebody help me. And it's like, okay, what are you going to do? I thought he was done for.
I did too, but nope. Tyler comes with the broom.
He's like, I'm going to climb up the side of this house. And when I get up there, Melissa, throw me the torch. And I can't do it justice because he's 2 stories up, hanging out the side of this building, halfway in this window. And he goes, Melissa, now. And she kind of does that thing. You know, like you toss the remote to someone on another couch? Mm-hmm. She does that. And the torch just shoots up to his hand. And he grabs it and he's like, thanks. And
Chariots of Fire is playing. Like, you know,
So he goes inside. And at this point, he's waving around. He gets Rome away from it. And he's like, let's get out of here. And as they're getting out of the window, I thought the tick was going to explode and knock them both out the window, like shoot them out like across the grounds.
I kind of wish that would have happened.
been great.
But no, they get out, they get in the van. As this happens, like one of the torches gets dropped and it lights a line of gasoline, which goes to a random huge propane tank that we hadn't seen at all in this movie. We've been all around these grounds in this movie. We've never seen this giant 14-person size like propane tank. Lights that on fire. Blows up. Hank Hill nods in approval.
That boy ain't right.
Demolishes the forest. I'm certain.
Definitely.
Yes.
Right? This forest is gone.
They're fighting this fire to this
But
day.
this is the thing, is that's supposed to be the whole, like, that's why the ticks got taken care of. It burned all the ticks.
Yes, that's what we're supposed to believe. But in any good creature feature fashion, at the end of this thing, when they get back to the city, one little tick cocoon falls off the...
Well, the big tick did blow up inside the house. Let's just point that out.
Yes.
Alfonso Ribeiro tick did basically like... like the fucking Death Star.
So my one problem, the only problem I had with this
Wait,
whole
is
movie,
this where it is?
No, it's earlier, but I didn't
Oh,
want to
God.
interrupt the
I was
flow.
like, did we get to the fucking final scene with a little, like, tick cocoon falls off the
Practically,
bottom of the
though.
thing? They also... Did you notice that van was abandoned underneath that bridge?
Yeah, it's where you abandon shit.
They just walked away.
They just walked away from the van. How do you explain any of this to anybody?
You don't, but...
Maybe they all went home in the red convertible.
So when Tyler goes to save Rome,
Okay.
they are both hanging out the window, and they're climbing down, and Rome falls on the top, and Tyler's right behind him. They pull Rome in. Somehow, Tyler's already in the driver's seat, ready to fucking drive that van when they say, Tyler, go!
Yes.
And there's a harsh cut. Something happened there.
Yeah, well, what happened was as Rome was laying on the roof going like, oh God, I've made terrible choices with my life. And they're like, Rome, we got you. As that's happened, Tyler, $6 million man, jumped off of the fucking rope and was like, I got to get in this driver's seat now. Climbs in the driver's seat and is like, I'll be ready when Rome gets inside.
Okay, that's got to be it. That's my only problem. I was like, how did he? I watched it twice. I rewound it to be like, did I miss something? No, it just hard
Sir,
cuts to
I have
Tyler.
seen contortionists who do less work to come to a fucking like final pose than you do for some of your headcanon, and you couldn't headcanon this?
Well, because it's very disruptive.
The thing you forgot is when Tyler was a child and was bit by the tick in the woods, when his father left him alone, not only did he get tick tingle, he got teleportation.
Oh.
He is Nightcrawler from the X-Men.
It came with the tick bite.
Now, that would have been interesting if he had gotten bit by ticks holding onto that tree as a kid, and so he had a fear of ticks, too.
Why not? That would make more sense
Because
probably.
then you could actually have him like full shut down, like he can't move, like I'm so paralyzed with fear. Which when he actually does stuff, you're like, oh, he's really overcoming something, not just
Good point.
I'm afraid of being alone, Daddy. Like, great, you're surrounded by a bunch of d-bags. You know, you're good.
Kind of like that movie. What was it? Play Again or whatever.
Stay Alive.
Stay Alive with the fire. He was afraid
yeah,
of fire. He
Yeah,
shuts
this
down.
happens in movies all
Sure,
the time,
sure.
but yes, yeah, very
That's a
similar.
more
to that.
recent example. that
Yeah.
we've done.
But I'm just saying that would have been he got abandoned. He got eaten by bugs, and he's terrified of the woods. He's terrified of being alone. He's terrified of ticks. Give him the full gamut. So when he actually overcomes this stuff and becomes the hero, he's really had that hero's journey.
Love it. That could be for ticks too. Bed bugs.
Hey, Hollywood, excuse me, get at us.
Idea by GraveTalk Podcast.
Based on an idea by the GraveTalk podcast.
So I have not seen this movie since I saw it on Showtime in the 90s. This is my first rewatch since then, but I never forgot this movie.
You had Showtime in the 90s?
Next Door Neighbor did.
Oh, I was about to say,
They
you
had
rich
Cinemax, Showtime, HBO. They were loaded.
Rich.
I never forgot this movie. It always stuck with me. And I forgot Seth Green was in this. I forgot Alfonso Ribeiro was in this movie. I just remembered that Killer Tick movie being pretty cool.
Okay.
And I think rewatching it 20, 30 years later, this movie's fun. I recommend this movie, and that's why I wanted to watch it again. I was like, I haven't seen that in forever. So do you guys recommend this movie? I would give it a 3 out of 5.
A 3 out of 5.
Yeah.
Yes, I'd never even heard of this movie until Mark said we were doing it, so I had to scramble to discover it. It's awesome. I really enjoyed it. It's stupid. Definitely go in knowing that, but I would agree with 3 out of 5. It is a really fun movie. It would have got a 4 out of 5 if it didn't have that jump cut. But
Damn, you would have given it an extra star for that.
can't forgive a jump cut. No, I'm just
fair.
kidding. It's 3 out of 5.
I can't good in faith go higher than a 3.
Yeah, that's fair.
This is a direct-to-video. You know what I mean?
It's up there with all my favorites. 5 out of 5.
I put this at 2.5.
Okay, that's a fair
Because
grade.
it's not a good movie. It's written poorly. The acting is not great. You have to do so much work just to be okay with the plot. But again, it's just one of those, like, as a lover of shitty movies, it was great from start to finish. Like the moment like he gets in the car, seriously, the stuff with like the tick and the weed shit, I was like, oh man, we got this whole like, oh no, we fucked up nature. And then like we get in the car and it's like, yeah, okay, I don't know what to do with you. You gotta go under a bridge. I was like, I'm in for whatever this movie has for me. If this is the logic, I'm sold. And then we get Alfonso Ribeiro like immediately. I was like, okay, yeah, great film.
I think with the gore and the creature effects, pedigree of the cast that's in this, you've got Clint Howard, famous among horror fans. You know, you've got
Reshot into the movie, evidently.
right, which we'll confirm when you get that Blu-ray, but that's what I read. You've got Seth Green in an early role that it's always fun to see those actors before they kind of blew up, you know. So
I was enjoying I always like seeing the girl from Can't Hardly Wait, or not Can't Hardly Wait, but Can't Buy Me Love, because I love that movie.
Yeah. So yeah, a lot of people in this movie worth checking it out for. That's what gets it to the 3 for me. Is just all that stuff combined. Yes, the plot is ridiculous. It could be seen as an homage to those 50s animal attacks, creatures attacks style thing. And I want to know more. So after you get that,
Very Night of the Creeps for me.
yeah, I want to see them special features. So
Well, a little update real quick. I did watch the second disc of House of a Thousand Corpses.
You did?
There is some new stuff on there.
Okay.
So the new disc, the new box set, or the new double disc is worth picking up if you don't own House of a Thousand Corpses yet. But yes, I recommend Ticks.
Well, that's 3 recommendations for this 90s direct-to-video film.
Look, if I'm going to be totally honest, I'm going to be raw here.
Be
with
honest
y'all.
with us,
yeah.
man.
I was in
And the listeners, this is how comfortable we feel with you.
very altered
John's
state of
being
mind.
vulnerable here.
I am. Yeah, I was in a very altered state of mind when I was watching this movie, which I think helped a lot.
Were you fucked up?
Yeah, I was.
Were you on steroid weed?
Yeah, well, I don't know if it had the steroids.
Are you telling
but
me you walked out from your weed shed, sat down after growing weed with some green chemical in your backyard?
Well, here's what I'm going
And
to say.
put on
It's
tips.
icy ecto cooler. He's just watering with it.
Weed is still illegal in Texas, so I can either conform or deny that. But I will say,
You were high on Twinkies.
I was high on life.
Yeah,
okay?
yeah, that's it. That's fair.
Yeah, and that really, I think it took the edge off the movie.
Here at the
so.
GraveTalk podcast, we both condone and endorse illegal drug use.
Yeah.
So we'll cover both bases.
Before you get judgy out there, listeners, there's a lot of substances to abuse. Mm-hmm. And marijuana being one of the most
boy, here we go.
mild that you can abuse.
Yeah. Look, I just said yes, so,
Look, we pro weed here.
Yeah.
Let's just say it. We pro weed.
so that helped. That
Yeah,
did
yeah.
help really take the edge off this movie.
All right. Well, listeners, have you seen Ticks? Why don't you-
Probably not.
I bet. We already got people saying, hell yeah, I can't wait to you guys do this.
Okay, nice. All right.
Friend of the podcast, Kim, was very excited that we were doing Ticks.
All right, awesome.
Oh, shout out, Kim.
Yeah. So,
Listeners, we love y'all.
we love you all. Have you seen Ticks? Why don't you let us know on your social media, on our social medias? We can be found.
Use your social medias to tell our social medias.
That's how that works.
Don't talk to us directly. Talk through social medias.
We have a Facebook, Twitter, and an Instagram. You can find out everything we're up to at thegravetalk.com. Garrett, what are we doing next time?
Next time we're doing Stephen King's inspired Boogeyman, which just came out at the theaters.
Der Bogeyman. And was it directed by his kid?
I have no fucking idea, dude.
Okay. Well, we'll tell you more.
Prince?
We'll do our research and come back for the Boogeyman. All right, listeners, thanks for joining us, and we'll see you next time.